Welcome back to another episode of the Otter Players Podcast, where this week we'll talk about all the hype that went on with GTA 6 and their new trailer reveal, finally giving us a glimpse more into that world. We'll talk about the strategies and things going on with the success that Microsoft has had, as well as many more things like the great news of Death Stranding 2 going gold. But first off, let's get into our intros. Weeb, how are you this week and what have you been playing, man?
Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, what I've been playing, there's only one answer to that. That's Expedition 33. And yeah, since I got my copy for the PS5, I've been playing it nonstop, and I am enjoying every minute of it. And for some reason, I'm ahead of Omar, but yeah, that's a whole different discussion. uh, yeah, yeah. I mean, what can I say? Like, yeah, I mean, you guys are playing it as well, so or some of us apparently already finished it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it is absolutely amazing, absolutely a front runner for GOTY this year. Um, I mean, I just hit Act Two, so I'm not gonna spoil anything, but yeah, you're gonna I mean, if you like, good writing and lots of drama, you can enjoy it. And of course, the gameplay is immaculate. I love that every character sort of has their own unique playing style. I guess it's not always very clear from the way they explain. You kind of have to experience it to figure out, okay, how does it actually work? But I mean, it's in the end, it makes a lot of sense when you try to when you figure it out. And there's so many customization options, with the pictos, and you can once you learn them, you can apply them to your other party members. I mean, I love you know sort of gambling with the roulette picto where you can get either 50% damage or 200% damage. I mean, try applying that to Mael when she's in virtuous stance. Like that's the damage numbers are going to the roof, and I haven't even hit the tip of the iceberg yet because I'm still like beginning Act Two, and I know I've seen the videos, seen the screenshots. Like it can get very crazy, and yeah, I did not download the patch because yeah, I don't like developers nerfing my game, so I'll definitely dodge that one and keep denying its update until I finish the game because yeah, I mean it's a dumbest thing ever. I mean nerfing is always very dicey subject and generally it's more hit and miss. But for a single player game, I'm like that's the only critique I would give them, the developers, that they're sort of, I guess they were maybe a victim of their own success or something, like that they weren't expecting this and then said, oh yeah, no, we need to fix things. We need to, instead of just release it, fix bugs and everything else, just leave it alone. If you want to give me more costumes, I'm totally okay with that, but don't change the gameplay. Like don't change. If people are able to exploit things, let them. I mean, it's your choice. I mean, that's sort of the thing that I never really get from developers, is that they feel the need to change something just because they're feeling, yeah, okay, yeah, it's making things maybe too easy, or people are exploiting it. Like let people exploit. Like it's not like what's it's not like they're not experiencing the game. Like it's not like they're harming anybody. It's a choice, right? If a certain move allows you to make things a lot easier for you when fighting bosses and enemies, let them. You always have the choice not to, or you can play it like Omar and just handicap yourself and get stuck in Act One forever because you want to beat the bosses you're not supposed to beat.
I was
Uh,
never stuck
right,
with
Omar?
my choice.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If that's your choice, then let that be your choice. No need to nerf anything. But other than that, I mean,
Yeah, no,
it's an
I do
absolute
agree.
classic.
No, nerfing is absolutely stupid. Even if she does a godly amount of damage, you still need to build her like that. and need to put effort into the build. So nerfing it is stupid.
And do it. I mean, I mean, if you want to, you can also put on the accessibility option where you can skip the quick time events. I mean,
Oh God, what are
or
you playing then?
huh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
you
yeah.
still have to parry and dodge, but not the the quick time events with the moves. Pressing X and etc. So
Hmm.
so yeah. But again, that's an option you have. It's a choice, and that's kind of why I don't get that. I think that's sort of a uh, um, I guess insecurity or something where you're like, oh yeah, it needs to be perfect. Like people need to play it like I want it to be played rather than just let people have it. I guess that's kind of the problem with an interactive medium where yeah, people can experience it differently than what you intended. I mean, let people do that. That's the entire point of gaming. I mean, let people surprise you with how they how to make like I if again I can speak on developers behalf because I'm not a developer, but like I would be I will be happy if I see people doing things they weren't supposed to do. Like that would be a testament to what people the yeah the amount of time and effort people put into a game to try to figure out what they can use to exploit it, right? Like I mean, but again, like it's an absolutely amazing game. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I definitely gonna keep on playing this. Maybe try out Doom: The Dark Ages next week when it drops in Game Pass for a bit. But other than that, I have no plans on stopping playing Expedition 33. And yeah, I mean, I from everything I've seen so far, I'm pretty confident I'm not going to be disappointed by the end. And yeah, I'm very confident that this is going to be the go-to of this year so far. But we'll see. Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how people were getting as high because even at the point like at near like the my last hour playthrough when I was like, okay, I'm gonna nerf my L, right? I'm gonna or not nerf. I'm gonna get her OP, right? I'm gonna get her to her OP build. Even with that, it's still with the correct sword and I had her at like level like 90 or 91 at the time or something. Even with that, it still took me a whole bunch of pick toes and getting the shit correctly to get like 35, 40 million damage. So I'm just like, I don't know what these dudes were doing to get like that insane. Yeah, I don't know what the hell they were doing because, like I said, it took time. Like I still had to build my L correctly and put the correct Pictos and Luminous on her, and even with the right sword in that. Yeah. So it's just like, yeah, I don't know how these dudes were doing that shit, but yeah, it was impressive for the people who could pull it off. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Her one where she moves hella fast. Yeah. 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 That's the one I was using too for multiple.
Yeah, it is pretty interesting. Yeah. Also, like I'm also kind of this is kind of interesting thing is that I guess pretty much every character can it's in some way be OP depending how you use it. Like
Mhm.
I've seen people like saying like if you build CL right, she's basically the highest damage dealer in the game.
Yeah.
I've played with her in the first act, and there were bosses that I was able to defeat with her where my hell was really not doing enough damage. But her, if you use her skills, where you apply certain type of damage, like the sun moon kind of thing, where she applies sort of stacks on the enemy, and then use the other element attack, whatever you want to call it, and then the damage she does is absolutely amazing. Like so, yeah, I think that you have absolutely freedom of choice to decide, what moves you want to use and who you want to use. Like I don't think it's as you said, like that there's just one way to play it, or you're just making things way too hard for yourself. Like, but yeah, who are we?
Yep, that's my fault. Thank you, Wara. I forgot to unmute myself when I was talking earlier. That was my fault. Um, but yeah, no. Yeah, just I don't know. I think I felt like they zoned in on that way too much. They said I felt like the genuine thing was the 200% was the double damage from the weapon, which wasn't supposed to be a thing. Um, but yeah, like you said, there's other stuff. I've seen like nuke Lune. I've seen Spirit Bomb Lune. I've seen
Yeah.
crazy stuff from like you said CL. So on. It's been like crazy.
Is
Um,
Luna's not OP? Damn.
a lot of them are strong. They're all strong. Like it just depends on what you do in your setup. Like that's what we were saying. Like they were focusing on that one thing, and like people weren't really getting why in the comments. We were like hey, like is this gonna be like a thing? Like are you guys gonna just like start doing the whole nerf every popular build thing that a lot of other devs do? Because like I know Logic was asking like why is everybody tripping, and I was like, well, because they did such a good job. And I'm like, yeah, they did, but we've also had a lot of devs that launched with a great game and then nerfed it into the ground. So I was like, it's a very real concern because it's happened before. We hope it doesn't
Yeah.
happen. Um, but like I said, I mean, I'm glad I got the disc version, and I'm glad I actually left the game on because even though we turned off the updates, it will still try to pull the update at some point. But as long as you are
Yeah,
playing the game,
it
it'll
definitely
stop.
did that for me
Yeah,
because I turned off my
Yeah,
updates
and it
and
this
still
is
showed
why
then
I
up.
I
kept my
came back on later, like the next day or whatever. But it was already I was already done.
Yeah, yeah,
But I came back on my PlayStation the next day and it said Claire Expedition updated. I said, hold up. I clearly turned those updates off. How you just gonna update without my permission? But
yeah.
yeah.
PlayStation
yeah,
needs to double check that feature because that feature has been broken for a long time. Turning
I
off the updates, it's not supposed to update without asking you.
I thought that, yeah, that's what I tried to do. Like, I had literally to stop myself and stop the update itself. I'm
Yeah,
like,
and then you have to
excuse
delete it.
you. I even deleted it, so now I feel if it's gonna do that again. This is
Yeah, I
why
mean,
I've yet to turn my play.
as long as the game is running, it can't install. So
Yeah.
that's what I did. I made sure at
So
least till I
I
finished.
can't. So what am I supposed to do?
I mean, you could
Keep
turn
my
it
play.
you could turn it off, but you can't like put it in rest mode.
Okay, so I can't close the game completely.
No, no, no.
Omar, you should be good though because you want the torturous experience, so you don't need
Exactly.
OP
Oh
Mael,
That's
so
damn!
true.
you're fine.
That's true.
That's what
Oh,
you said. You like to grudge and fight over a boss for 4 to 5 hours, so you should be fine with this update. You don't need the OP Mael, so you're
Did
fine.
you did you literally miss out the conversation where I literally said in Final Fantasy 12
Hmm.
I spent early part of the game trying to get the best weapon of the game?
Yeah, whatever, Omar.
Okay, but you
Move
don't
on.
you don't need her to go crazy. You can get the best weapon. You can still get the weapon. You just
Mhm.
don't need the OP-ness that the weapon had. You don't need that because you said you wanted to gruel
I
over these
want it.
boss
Whether I
battles.
use it, that's up to me.
So it's okay.
Omar's like, but I want the option
Okay,
though.
what the fuck? Why is it no? Why? Literally right now, like my game is not done. It's done. Oh fuck me. My game is no stop.
Are you okay? Are you still functioning?
This man having a stroke
He's
mid podcast.
No, the game was literally updating in front of me. What am I supposed to do?
You let it update, Omar. You don't want that build
No,
anyway. You
fuck
you
out
you,
of
you
here.
want to
No,
gruel over and you
no.
want
So
your
my
feet to
question is.
bleed. You want your hands to bleed as you
So my
play. That's what
question
you
is.
said. So it's
My
okay.
question. So my question is, how am I supposed to do it right now? Um,
What are you talking
it's
about?
not.
You're supposed to be running a podcast, Omar. So figure it out.
Yeah, just let it happen. Just let the update happen, Omar. It's okay.
You can cancel and delete it, Omar.
I literally just did that twice, but
Yeah, we'll keep asking you to do it every time you go back to the game.
Are you quit out of the game? Because
Nah, see,
no, I said
PlayStation PlayStation just heard that this is how he wants to play, so
I was,
they're
I
confused as to why
was
he keeps
in the,
canceling.
I was in the game the entire time.
okay, then it can't install.
It literally tried to install. I literally had to
Oh my
stop it
god.
twice.
Omar, we said that.
We
We'll
just
ask
try.
you if you want to install it. Yeah, but you can install as long as this game is on.
Yeah, like I don't think he's getting that part. It says it's ready to install when it's done downloading, and it'll keep trying it periodically. If you don't want it to ask, you have to delete it and then go offline.
Oh, but asking is not automatically installing them.
No,
Asking is just asking. Okay,
it's
gotcha.
downloading it, but we're explaining to you the PlayStation cannot update a game that is running. But if you're just sitting there and your game is closed, yes, it will auto update.
Mm-hmm. So it's just a matter of closing the game and then closing the PlayStation
Why
to
don't you just
prevent.
turn the internet off
That's
on
what I'm
on
saying.
your
You are
PlayStation, Omar?
overcomplicating
Like
this.
you're
You need
you're
to
doing way
unplug the
too fucking
internet.
much. Just turn the fucking internet off on your PlayStation so it can't update.
Yeah,
I can do that.
there's a literal internet
Thank you,
off
because
section.
we're going all around this. You do the easiest damn solution. All
Yeah.
right. Anyway, moving on.
We're
But
never gonna get to the topics, are we?
but anyway, yeah. So obviously, we heard from Weeb. Morgan, how are you, ma'am, and what have you been playing?
I'm good, I guess. Um, but yeah, I finished Expedition 33.
Oh,
Um,
you too? God damn it!
yeah, I got the plat.
Yeah, you got the plat.
But thank you, Omar. But yeah, it like there's a lot to say about this game, and honestly, they're all positive. Like this game is just, I don't know, it came out of nowhere from this small studio from France. You know, I gotta maybe I gotta throw a couple negatives in there just because it's from France, but but it's just an amazing game. Like it really is something special. And you know, I know a lot of people, they like I said in my review of it, a lot of people focus on like the combat and stuff, which is great, but I think a lot of people are like underappreciating or not valuing enough like the story and the characters that are in this game. Like I don't like I feel like there are so many standouts, you know, like everybody has their place in this game. Nobody feels like, you know, oh, this is just a kind of a character to just lump in because they needed another character. Like everybody, every character feels thought out. They feel well placed. The voice acting is amazing. Like shout out to Ben Starr because his character is absolutely phenomenal. Um, there was one point, I'm not gonna spoil what it said obviously, but there's one journal in particular um, that was his journal, and I was listening to it, and the emotion that this man was giving in that journal entry, I was just like, what the fuck? Like Ben Starr is just, he's just so talented. Like the raw emotion that he was portraying just through that journal entry alone was great. Like I need him to start reading some of these audiobooks for me. Like he's really talented. Um but you know, also God, what's his name? Daredevil. God, Charlie Cox. Um, he is phenomenal as well. Like he did it, you know, he did his thing in this game. It's just everybody is just fantastic in this game. I love, you know, even the side characters. Like I don't want to say who because you know Omar hasn't gotten that far, but everybody's just fantastic. I can't praise the characters enough and the writing in this game enough. It definitely took me on an emotional roller coaster of feelings, but you know, at the end, you know, it was great. Like I give it like a strong 9.5 out of 10. It's like the only reason I took the point 0.5 off is like just the quality of life things that I think it kind of needs, like the mini map and some of the little other frustrating things that I found in the game. The platforming, oh my god. I'm just like, why do you have so many different things and areas to platform, but the platforming is just terrible. Um, yeah, it's just little quirks like that. Just took the point 0.5 off, but it's still, I think it's a masterpiece of a game. This game is definitely going to be a strong game of the year contender this year. Um, Definitely one of the better games that I've played this generation. I think Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 personally for me is still my number one pick, but I think this I think Expedition 33 is just going to be the front runner for game of the year this year. Um, you know, we still have a ways to go, but damn, like we're only in what, May now, and we've had some fantastic like games this year. Just absolutely masterful games that we've had. So I can't complain. Like I said last week, I really don't understand how some people are looking at this gen or this year and just being like, man, there's nothing to play. Man, every game is trash. Like I'm just I hate to be you because I have not gone through that feeling in a while. So yeah, Expedition 33, if you have not played it, please give it a try. Like, again, it's on Game Pass. If you have access to Game Pass, you want to try it out on there. If you're not like a turn-based fan, or if you've never played turn-based, give it a try on Game Pass and see how you like it. It's
If you want to like
it.
to play the nerfed version,
Yeah, now, right? Because if you're jumping in a little late. But there's still other characters in there that you can definitely OP. You don't have to necessarily rely on that just one character. But yeah, I don't know. There's not enough praise I can give this team. Sandfall, they did their thing with this game. Um, and I'm just really glad that the success that this game has had. A lot of people tend to, not us in particular, the people in this chat, but just gamers in general tend to kind of turn their nose up when it comes to turn-based games. And even though we've had a lot of turn-based games come out, especially this gen, a lot of great ones, they tend to get overlooked. But I'm glad that Expedition 33 has kind of found its way, and is hitting that mainstream stride, and people who haven't tried turn-based or haven't liked turn-based are kind of finding their love of the genre, or through this game. I know some JRPG purists get upset about it, about people liking Expedition 33 and not liking, these 15 other niche turn-based games that did something similar or whatever. But I am of the mindset that anything that gets the people interested in a gameplay style that I like, I will take, because at the end of the day, when it comes to the gaming industry and the type of games that we get and the genres that we love, money talks. So it's like, we can say all day how we like a particular game from a genre, and oh, this game is better than Expedition, this does this and that. But it's gonna, in order for us to get more of these type of games, right? Like what we've been wanting, like a triple A kind of turn-based game of a more photorealistic art style. It's gonna take a game to come out like this, be successful, and sell well. So congratulations to Sanford also for the 2 million. I'm sure it's probably more now, but yeah, it's gonna take people coming together, people who've never played the genre before, right, to come in and you know speak with their wallets, essentially buy the game, love the game, talk about the game, for us to get more like this. So I'm happy. Hopefully this will send a signal throughout the industry that turn-based is something that people actually like, especially in the West. We do in fact play turn-based games, and we do like these type of games, and we want more of these type of games. So I can't wait to see what Sandfall does, with the success that they've had with this game. If they're gonna make a sequel or just another type of turn-based game, or if they're just gonna go into a completely different genre. Whatever they decide to do, I'm down with it. I wish them nothing but the best, because they delivered an absolutely stellar game. So yeah. But besides Expedition 33, I kind of started an indie game. It's kind of like, and Expedition 33 is an indie game, but I mean like a smaller, like single A game. I kind of like to do that after I play like a big open world. Like to like kind of cleanse myself with a much smaller title. And I just started this game called Until Then. I think PlayStation recommended it to me. It's like a smaller indie title. It's some kind of like coming of age story. It kind of reminds me of the other um, indie game that I played, A Space for the Unbound. Apparently, it deals with some mature themes and things of that nature, and it's really good so far. I've only played, like I said, I've only played like an hour of it, but the story's kind of got me hooked, and so I'll be playing this until my next game on my list comes out. I usually don't know what to do with myself when I've completed the games I wanted to complete. Like, I'm usually like behind in my schedule of games that I want to play. um it's like I'm usually I'm usually like juggling 3 or 4 different games at the same time. So now that I've actually finished the games on my list, I'm kind of like in that weird muddy space of I don't know what to do. So I'm just kind of playing this until the next game on my list comes out, which is I think next week. So yeah. this man's having a whole conversation apparently. Um, but yeah, that's what I'm doing.
That they couldn't hear me. Omar, how are you, man? What have you been playing?
Some people, yeah, I've been uh, taking crap because of my playstyle with CT3. Um, as for CT3, the game is amazing. I'm still at Act 1. I think close to Act 2, but we will see. Yeah, outside of the grabs that I mentioned, the game is perfection. I truly believe they elevated the combat system. Storytelling is phenomenal. The emotion is there. The music, like I can't stress it enough. The music is so good. Not just one music. All of them is good, and every single thing have a unique theme to it. You're fighting the mimes, it have a unique theme. You're fighting big enemies, it have a unique theme. You're in a different area, unique themes. Like, yeah. Even the beach theme I enjoyed. Like, I have yet to come to a music that I'm like, oh, that's boring. Besides that, voice acting phenomenal. I'm playing it English dub. I tried French. It didn't hit with me. Maybe because I don't speak French. But yeah. Besides that, I played a little bit of Borderlands with a friend of mine. We didn't. Well, one session we really didn't go far because connection wanted to fuck me over and it did, so we had to drop it. And after that, I beat again eBay, Bionic Bay. Basically, it's a platformer. It's a quick one where you need to go from point A to point B and avoiding obstacles and using time manipulation and stuff like that. Really fun. I had a blast with it. It's also short, like 6 hours, I think. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. Hello?
Cool. I see we got a Viper who managed to make it. Viper, man, it's been a while. Let the people know what you're playing. How you been, man?
Hey, what's going on, panel and chat? Yeah, it's been a minute. I think the last time I was on here, I was playing Metaphor Refantasio.
You're
That was
That was
alive.
84 years ago.
that was platinum number 167. I think I'm on 190 something now. But yeah, been playing Metaphor Refantasio. I haven't jumped into Expedition 33 like the rest of you guys yet. I will be doing that shortly. Um, but I tell you this, I did play through the first 3 or 4 hours because I didn't want. So I was on Six Podcast, Sick Humor TV. Shout out to him. And you know how he gets. He starts talking and semi spoiling stuff. So I was like, all right, let me cut this off real quick and just do the first 2 or 3 hours real quick because I heard the first was a little bit emotional. And just like The Last of Us, I want to be sure that I got the full brunt of it before everybody started talking about what happened. Um, got to that gomage, forgot my wife was in the room with me, and holy crap,
Yeah, that first hour.
that song
Hit.
played. Go ahead, Omar.
That first hour hit.
Oh yeah, so bad. I paused it and I looked away, and she was like, "Are you crying?" No, I'm doing just fine.
Are you crying?
Yeah, that was a very emotional part, especially losing. I'm not going in there because the people will see it when they play it.
Yeah.
Um, but I just got finished Trails through Daybreak 2. Not gonna lie, that's the worst one out of 13, 14 games. I trucked through it though. I liked it. The gameplay was cool, but the story, I don't want to get into that. But I'm Fairy
I've
Tale.
heard about the same, so you're on track.
Uh, long for no damn reason. 246 hours to platinum that thing.
Good
I'm not gonna lie.
lord.
I was sleep. I was sleep for about 30 of them. 30 of those hours.
Is
So
it the one where you play as a mercenary that is not is not what you call it against doing something bad, or rather killing enemies just because to So he's like almost like a protagonist. He does what he wants to do. Is
Well,
this it?
to me, yeah, me, it's like a time jumper, but it don't make any sense. It's like, okay, when you plan the game and you plan a time jumper, you're trying to avoid the instant deaths or the parts of the story that lead you to dying. But this
Mm-hmm.
game takes you into those on purpose and then takes you back to an early point and then you got to redo it again. I'm like, what's the whole point if you're going to make me? Because on my second playthrough, I was trying not to go to the quick endings and they just kept forcing me into it. I'm like, well, what's the point in a time jump? This makes no sense. So it was, and the end game, like the stuff toward the post game, the long for no reason. But oh God. All right, yeah, that's it. My wife just walked in here.
No, you're good, man.
So that's all I've been doing. That's all I've been playing.
Cool. Good to hear from you, man. Um, well, as far as me, everybody knows, obviously, Expedition 33, that's been the elephant in the room. Uh, Morgan finished it. I got the platinum this morning. So I was able to fully complete it and get to fully appreciate the story and all the side content and everything that I had to offer. You guys always hear about what Priscilla's playing, so again, I mentioned it because Priscilla has never played a turn-based game before. We're trying to get her to play one forever. So Priscilla also completed Expedition 33 and absolutely loved it. 9.5 out of 10 from her for her first turn-based game. Very, very important to note that it's not just the combat, because that keeps being brought up. It's not just the activeness and the combat and things like that. What really drew her in, as well as myself, is definitely the tone of the story, and what they're trying to tell at this, a much more mature level, in a more realistic tone and environment. As Hero stated, he likes that more realistic tone that they went with for this, and he just is a fan of it, and a lot of people are. Um,
We don't
Again,
have enough of these, eh?
yeah, we don't like they're it's very rare. Um, I would say as far as tone and stuff like that, Octopath Traveler 2 does it. Octopath Traveler 2 is very serious and has some real crazy repercussions and deep stories, but it just doesn't have obviously the visual fidelity that
I
goes with this.
I mean there are way more games than you think that do that. It just you have to yeah, be aware of it. Like I mean, I think ironically, like it made me think of Nier Automata a lot because that also has a very strong dramatic story with a lot of philosophical enumerations, and also, but that's also the interesting thing is they're not forgetting the humor, right? There are actual more lighthearted moments in this game, despite the fact that there's a very serious tone and a lot of consequences and it's very mature. But you're not forgetting that there has to be some lightheartedness at some points. And maybe even some silliness, and that's the interesting thing because
Well,
I
yeah,
see that.
you gotta laugh to keep from crying
You have
kind
that
of thing
with
that
this
they do.
one.
Yeah,
It's
exactly, and that's why I draw parallels with with Yoko Taro's games like Nier Automata, Nier Replicant, where you also have this a very dark story, very dramatic, very about loss, about certain philosophical questions. I saw somebody there was an interesting, I don't know, say meme, but somebody showed like a tweet of somebody says like a fake conversation between David Cage and Yoko Taro, where David Cage like, oh yeah, I want to make a story about can Android be human, and Yoko Taro was like, okay, I'm gonna make a story. Can a human be human? And David Cage like, I don't get it. Like, but that's the level of difference between these two creators, where Yoko Taro can really go deep and makes you question everything, with his stories, and that's what I was getting from Expedition 33 is that like the entire concept is very like high fantasy or high sci-fi in the sense where yeah, it is sort of, yeah, you have no clue why the rules in this world exist as they are, but it is very well built up. There's a lot of world building where it's believable. You know, it's just the famous suspension of disbelief, right? That you know this doesn't make any sense in our world, but it, within the logic of this world, this makes sense. And that this is where it stands apart. I think that this is, I guess you're maybe, well, I mean, like if you played like Metaphor, it also has quite some serious, themes and stories. But I guess if you compare it to the average JRPG, which can have plenty of drama and character death and themes of war, stuff like that. But
Mm-hmm.
it often kind of forgets that, okay, these are supposed to be real characters, and they're sort of either behaving like anime characters, which as an anime fan doesn't mean that anime characters can behave like real people, but the sort of the stereotypical ones,
Yeah,
or they're not actually believable characters in the sense that no person would respond like that. Like, and this is what Expedition is really
it
well is
does
that
it really
uh,
well.
yeah, exactly, like like if something happens to you traumatic like that, like you're not just gonna joke about it and move on, and there's, oh yeah, let's fight the next boss. That's gonna gonna do something with you, and that's what I absolutely love about that. That's also what I said to you before. It's like you don't necessarily need to have like a very complex story, which this game seems to have so far, but uh, well-written characters is much more important. Like interesting characters is key to any story that has, that it's about characters. Like if you have an RTS, of course, it's not that important that your units, individual units, don't need to have an individual story.
Yeah,
But if you're talking about like an RPG, like a role-playing game, like either the sort of the Western approach is typically where at least the typical Bethesda games where you just create your character, right? And for JRPGs, more typical, it is neat that you have an established group of characters with with their own personalities that you can play the game as you want in a way with, oh, how do I build my character, but the characters are sort of set in stone, like you're experiencing the game the way the developers intended to, in terms of this is who the character is, and maybe sometimes you can make some choices here, and that's the beauty of this game as well, is that these characters are so well developed and so real in the sense, like even though they're thrown in a ridiculous situation, like you know they're believable as human beings, right? Like that, this is how you and me, at least, we probably would be a bit more not as ballsy as these characters were, but you get what I mean, right? We would also experience emotions like that, and that's how you relate to these characters, and that's a testament to strong writing. And sorry, I didn't want to steal your intro, but
no, no,
I just had to add that.
no, you're good.
Another thing, very quick, is, and this is the most important, every single one of them is not seasoned developer or a writer or a music artist. They're all brand new, and only three of them are ex Ubisoft dev. Like, it makes you genuinely question what the fuck is the AAA industry is doing. If a bunch, I'm not disrespecting them, but literally a bunch of nobodies are able to pull something off like this, what is the AAA industry doing with their amount of money that's being given to create something, and then most of them are failing? It genuinely makes you question what the industry is doing right now.
Yeah, yeah, no,
I
I
can
agree.
I can tell you exactly what they're doing. They're it's just like any product. You get a product that's made, it's popular, it's hot. They try. I mentioned it last week in the chat. It's like any product where stuff starts phasing out. People are overpaid. Too many people are working there. Too many positions, and nobody knows what the hell they're doing. So
Yeah, you got a bunch of people on payroll who aren't really necessary. So then you get a over or bloated budget from
Like,
getting bigger and that success, and you end up bleeding more money than anything when you're making some of these things. So yeah, that's a big one.
it's insane how this game has literally exposed the industry.
Yeah, it has. Hopefully, a lot of them are learning. I mean, they did give a lot of credit and shout out to that working with the Unreal Engine and a lot of working with the Unreal Engine and a lot of the asset management and great things that are in that engine and how it's managed is a large part of how they were able to build the game as fast as they did. But again, like I was telling people, because I know you always play with Prince or whatever, and he works in the industry as a technical artist. But like I mentioned, even when he was saying that, a lot of people have access to the Unreal Engine and still don't build a game half this good. So, it's not to take away whether they work with the engine or not. It's not to take away from the fact that they still created a phenomenal game. And the Unreal Engine has nothing to do with the writing and, character performances that elevate this game the way that they do. And obviously the the musical scores that a lot of people are really loving.
Yeah,
So
which
yeah,
is now on YouTube. Oh, by the way, I can't believe I'm even saying that. They undersold. They offered it for cheap. Like, they could have easily gone away with 60 for it. For the amount of content, for what it's doing.
yeah, I mean, they definitely could have offered more, but that's another thing where I'm hoping more people will give it a chance. I mean, like I said, on PC, you could pick it up from Green Man Gaming for $31. It was on sale on PlayStation prior for 44. Like, I mean, there's
Yeah,
a lot of opportunity, and I mean, at the end of the day, even at full price, it's just $50. So,
yeah, it already sold them 2 million, so shout out to them.
yep. But yeah, we'll jump into our first topic, and I know we'll do this one because we weren't able to get into it prior. But obviously, the elephant in the room with GTA. GTA 6 was delayed, but with that, we also got a brand new trailer from the Rockstar developer to, phenomenal numbers. Everybody going crazy. The game looks incredible. Digital Foundry's losing their mind with a lot of the muscle deformations and other things going on that you can see in the trailer. I'm sure everybody's seen it by now. If you haven't, it's not that long. You can always check it out. Um, but yeah, it looks insane. Just graphically, people are already wondering how it's going to run, so on and so forth. They're talking about 30, potentially with proper frame interpolation and stuff like that, which some people don't really know what that is and how that really works. But all games are not built differently. So, although, obviously a lot of people, everybody prefers pretty much 60 FPS, but you can have 30 FPS that's bad, and then you can have a 30 FPS that is quite smooth, funny enough. It has to do with frame pacing and some other things, um, how things match up, with the TV, and it gives you like a smoother image regardless of it being 30. And I mean, obviously, Rockstar is top tier when you talk about talent and capabilities. One thing in particular that was a big discussion, Morgan had pointed out, was people were losing their minds over the beer when he was carrying it out of the store, and you could see the liquid physics and all that stuff happening. It's all these little details and nuances that happen when a game comes out that is so incredibly sought after like GTA, and a lot of people don't actually get it. It's always funny to me every time a GTA comes out. You see a lot of people. I saw somebody being reductive of it earlier, and this person's really cool. Like, I'm really cool with this person, but they don't play it, so they were being reductive of like what GTA is, and they were like, they don't really get excited about car chases and shooting people and all this other stuff. And I'm like, GTA is not just that. Those are just things you see in the trailer that you do or can do, but GTA is much, much more than that. A lot of the way the story beats happen, in the single player, the way it takes place, the camera angles, the cinematography, the the leap in graphical fidelity and techniques and everything that bleed out into the industry. That these people who did work on it go out and you just see a whole elevated level of technical prowess happen after a GTA launches is big. Like, so there's a ton of reasons why a lot of people are super excited for this one. Like I said, despite the delay, like I said, we did get that new trailer and it looked amazing. I know Morgan, big fan. How did you feel after seeing everything? I know the delay sucks, but how are you feeling after the new trailer and all that?
Yeah, the delay, kind of, it hurt, but it was unsurprising. Like, it's just the kind of the way it is with Rockstar. But they don't, for me personally, they don't ever really disappoint. So I can't be upset if they say they need a delay. They need a delay. It is what it is. I don't think they're gonna hit that May. Like, I would be very surprised if they do hit that May. Um, the new release date for GTA 6. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it gets delayed again. I just think they kind of just gave themselves a year because they just want to be safe. But I think it'll probably take a little bit longer than that. I won't be surprised if it didn't release till fall of next year. But we'll see. I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But yeah, I was funny enough when the delay was announced. I was very surprised that they didn't release a trailer. I was like, usually when they have bad news, they try to like calm the fires down by releasing like a trailer or something. So I was very surprised when a trailer didn't pop. But then, a couple days later, they dropped the trailer, and I was like, oh, okay, here we go, here we go. Yeah, it looks good. You can see that there has been some improvement from the first trailer to this trailer. Um, we've gotten a lot of detail. I mean, watching it, and then of course watching the Digital Foundry breakdown, you see the basically all of the inputs they put into this trailer. Like, they were pointing out in Digital Foundry, like the one scene alone where Jason, the main character, was driving in his car. There was just like, I think, like 5 or 6 different objects that were reflecting ray tracing. Essentially, it was like his side mirrors, here, his dash mirror, the car itself, the car window, his sunglasses. It was just like everything was just using full like ray tracing essentially. So I think that kind of cements in people's mind that this game is most likely going to be locked at 30. We'll see if they'll have maybe a 40 FPS mode for this game. Um, Maybe they'll have 60. I mean, if anybody could do it, get 60 out of this game, it would be Rockstar. But again, it's just all going to be dependent on what they feel um, gives them the most out of their game, because they are the graphics that and the work that they put in this game are very important to them. So I don't think they would want to crush it to the point where they'd have to get 60. But like I said, we'll have to see. I'll take the game either way. I really don't care. But yeah, it looked amazing. And then of course, the big factor was at the end of the trailer when it said, the trailer was running on a PS5. I think they kind of cemented a lot of, or dissuaded a lot of people's fears, because people feel like that a lot of the trailers from Rockstar is like, oh, this is on PC, this is how it's gonna look on PC. But the fact that it was running on PS5, and they had to come out the next day because people were trying to say, oh well, it's just in engine, or it's not actual gameplay, and then they had to come out tomorrow and said everything that you see on this is the mix equal parts gameplay and cutscenes running on an actual PS5. It's just the way that they have to like come out and word it directly, because people are always like trying to doubt, and I don't really know why, because it's like people thought when Red Dead 2 was first shown that, oh, there's no way that's going to run on a PS4 or Xbox One, right? There's no way. Like, with how much that was going on and how much detail was in that game. And it's just like, so, they were able to pull that off. So I don't really know why people think that all of a sudden Rockstar just lost all their talent and they wouldn't be able to pull off these impressive graphics and realism on the PS5 and the Series X and S. It's just like, I was like, I don't know if people are new to Rockstar or they just had this kind of doubt because of certain practices that have been happening this generation. I don't know, but I just found it funny that, and I did appreciate that Rockstar came out and basically doubled down on what they said. Like, yes, this is actual gameplay and it is running natively on a PS5. So yeah, it looks phenomenal. Looks like it's gonna run great, at least on a PS5. If you have a PS5, it looks like you don't have to have any worries. So I am very interested to see how it's gonna run on the Pro as well. I think that'll be interesting to see if they push that extra bit of hardware to get the most out of the Pro. And I think this kind of cements that PlayStation does have the marketing rights. It's not nothing's official and in writing yet, but there's a lot of hints that they do. Obviously, the number one being that the trailer was running on a PS5, and then number two, PlayStation was the first out of PlayStation and Xbox to post the trailer on their YouTube channel. They posted it, and then like 5 hours later, Xbox posted it. So it's like when you have the trailer for like one of the most anticipated games of the generation, right, being GTA 6, you would think as two hardware manufacturers that are going to have access to GTA 6 that they would both post it at the same time, right? Like this is a huge game that's going to bring money to both of these platforms. So why would Xbox delay sharing the trailer to show people that, hey, this game that everybody and their mother is anticipating playing, you're going to be able to play it on your Xbox, right? So the only logical reason as to why they wouldn't post it immediately on their site is if they couldn't, due to business deals going on. So that, and there was some other reason I saw, or something else that kind of showed that PlayStation had the marketing rights. I can't remember what it was, but there was some other thing. But like, yeah, essentially it looks like PlayStation has secured the marketing rights. So like I said, I tweeted this earlier. I was like, PlayStation has a really good chance of having some great PR with this marketing deal if they do have the marketing rights for GTA 6. Mainly because they would have obviously the marketing, and they could bundle their PS5s with GTA 6. They could play the best version essentially, because they would have the superior hardware to play the best version day one, which is the PS5 Pro, right? And they'd also have like the best deal and entry point to be able to play GTA 6, because you have to remember that now that Xbox has essentially increased the prices of their consoles worldwide, the Series S is essentially damn near the same price as a PS5 digital, right? So the value proposition of the Series S has essentially gone down as being the box that you can get to just step into next gen if you don't really want to spend too much money, right? That value proposition for the Series X and Microsoft has essentially erased it. So PlayStation could have the best of both worlds. The value proposition of, if you want an entry console to play this game and one that's not hampered by, the low tech of the Series S, you can get a full PS5 essentially for the same price. So you could get that at a cheap entry point to get GTA 6, or you could get the best way to play GTA 6 day one, which would be the PS5 Pro. But again, that's all dependent on whether PlayStation decides to increase the prices of their consoles worldwide, because I know they have done it in several markets, but it hasn't hit everywhere. So again, this is all dependent on what they do with their pricing increase. But for right now, like, they have the best way to get GTA 6. So it's all going to be dependent on whether or not they decide to let the tariffs and the economic situations going on right now affect their pricing model currently. So we'll have to see. But regardless, though, GTA 6 looks absolutely amazing. Can't ask for anything more, to be honest. It looks like everything that I've wanted it to be. That great next step in innovation that Rockstar always loves to bring, the extra bit of realism, right? The amount of effort that they've put into this to what they're doing, like the little minute details that you were pointing out, Nate, of the things that they've done that they're showing off, essentially, like the stuff that you don't really need to do that probably most gamers aren't even going to notice, Rockstar tends to do, right? Like the bubbles fizzing in the beer, and like the minor reflections on things people won't even notice, like the sunglasses. People aren't looking really at that, but Rockstar's going to do it anyway because they're Rockstar, right? And that's why I say, people, like I was saying earlier, people like to complain and moan, but this is the type of thing you want. You want innovation, right? You want that big, expansive next step in gaming. That takes time. People get so upset about how long Rockstar takes, but then they want all of the things that Rockstar does, right? If you want that innovation, if you want that next step in gaming, if you want that extra bit of realism, right? The things that, everybody's pointing out that they've seen in the GTA 6 trailer, that's going to take time, right? You can't have it both ways. You can't want a game to come out in 3 years and then complain that it's not doing anything different. So if you want these type of things, these are the sacrifices you have to make when it comes to games. But yeah, I'm definitely willing to wait on this game because I have complete faith in Rockstar, and I think GTA 6 is going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, I 100% agree with everything you said. I mean, Rockstar is clearly in a class of their own. I mean, I got it pulled up here. Like Thrifty and them were saying in the chat, but the time it comes out next year, we'll be five and a half deep into this generation, and a lot of other top end games are going to start launching as well. Um, or will have launched by then. The Intergalactics, the Wolverines, game that Corey Barlog is working on, and so on and so forth. So we're gonna get like a lot more. I did pull the trailer up so everybody could see it if you hadn't seen it. But yeah, I mean everything about it is just looking literally insane. And like I said, a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
haven't even really experienced or the GTA launch for real. A lot of people came into GTA 5 late, and
Yeah.
forget that it originally launched on a PS3. Like,
I
like
mean,
it's
yeah.
been a long time. So
Oh yeah.
yeah,
The best thing about it, I got two sexy protagonists to choose from, so I'm gonna be like having a hard time picking which one, you know, I want to main because they're both fine. So I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe it just depends on my mood that day.
yeah, no, I think Rockstar knocked it out the park picking kind of the couple and the dynamic they did between the two. It being back in Vice City, the Latina,
Hell yeah.
like it's appropriate.
I'm about to be in the strip club like a motherfucker.
Yeah, like the Spanish speaking down there is wild, so I mean it all makes sense. Like, so I'm sure there's going to be a lot of that and whatnot. Like just seeing the whole mix, you can see just a variety of characters that are just going to be on display from them. They always do so well, with the different varieties and that nature as far as picking all the different gangs and the different environment that incorporate an entire city that you get to play in, and it's this one is just like I said, it looks like it's just going to the next level and given that whole vibe that current day Florida or Miami type vibes does. So yeah, I mean everything looks incredible. So um
Yeah,
Viper.
I know a lot of people were. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. Go ahead. Finish up.
I was gonna say I know a lot of people were doubting GTA 6 and Rockstar because they think, oh, I've heard the talk going around that, oh, a lot of the people in the original GTA, a lot of the people in the original Rockstar have left, and so it's not going to be the same. It's not going to be that innovative game that y'all used to. Yada yada yada. Listen, it's like, yes, some people have left, but that the core theme that Rockstar has always been about is still there. So I don't think that there's anything to worry about. Obviously, I haven't played the game, so I could be completely wrong. But from what we're seeing, the Rockstar DNA is still very much present. But go ahead.
No, no, I agree. Viper, I don't know if you can talk again if you're back, but if you can, uh, if you've seen it, what were you thinking? How are you feeling about seeing the trailer after that? I don't know how big you are into GTA or not. So,
Well, I am about to be knee deep in GTA 6 as soon as it comes out. Even though I tried 5 and was like, I don't know about this. But
okay.
no, I'm definitely I'm gonna give this one more of a shot than I did 5. Um, But I will say, people that are worried about the 60 frames per second, they have to know that this was shown with the PS5 regular at 30 frames. I'm positive it's going to easily hit 60 on the PS5 Pro. No doubts about that. If it's not there now, they got a whole fucking year to get it that way.
That's
So,
true. That's true.
um, but the thing that stood out to me, and like I said, I be on sick podcasts a lot, so he pointed this out, but there's extras behind it. The black hair. I've never seen twists, braids, and twist braids and plaits that were so clear
Mhm.
and crisp. And not just black hair, but all the hair in the game. The physics is just coming from like the hair physics in Expedition 33. You know. So,
Yeah.
but when you look at something like this, you're like, look at the towel that's around the guy's neck. The towel doesn't look like a piece of paper. You can see the little fuzzies and the outline
Mhm.
that you can say it's a hand towel that he has around his neck.
Yeah.
Cloth does not look like paper in this game. Cloth looks like cloth, and that's the thing that I'm fascinated with.
Well,
Is
also
it doesn't? Oh
tattoos on
yeah,
black people are really specific, and like to get that
Eh,
tone and that depth correct is
right.
crazy.
And you know it's very hard in real life when
It
black
is.
people get tattoos for them to actually get it right in a game. Oh yeah, you pointing right at. I mean, and it's phenomenal. That's why I said I can't. I honestly can't wait to get a hold of it. Even though, like I said, I wasn't a fan of five. This is going to force me to be a fan because that's what I'm looking forward to, big time. I'm definitely getting it. I'm gonna. Now, you know me. It might not be day. I might not start playing at day one, but
Yeah.
day 10, 12, I'll probably get into it.
Okay. No, that's fair.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean it's. I think pretty much. I think it's gonna be an event, man. Like a lot of people were saying, even the podcast unlocked and stuff was like, look, man, it's an event. You've got the last bit of people who are holding out, or people who may not even considered, having a console this generation are probably going to pick one up when GTA comes out, and
Mhm.
realistically it's probably going to be a PS5. And if it's not a PS5, like we've seen on Twitter all over the place, I've seen a lot of people picking up PS5 Pros already, in
The
anticipation.
Xbox elitists are doing it too.
Yeah,
They're the main ones going out getting pros.
exactly. So it's like, I mean, in anticipation of potential price hikes and so on and so forth, even if they don't even come to fruition, like the idea is like they already clearly see the value in getting a PS5 Pro. And I agree with Morgan. Like, even if it's not, like you said, 60, I think 40, unlocked with VRR, I think is a very real possibility.
Yeah,
So, and we've experienced several games like that, and that is an incredibly smooth experience.
it is.
So yeah, I would be happy with that. Weeb, how you feeling about this one, man?
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably get like I didn't like five, but did finish it. But I'm also not like the biggest GTA fan.
Okay, that's fair.
But I mean, this looks great. Definitely interested, and yeah, I mean, it is always great if the characters at least resonate to a certain extent. That um, I guess that we'll have to wait and see how interesting they are. Because I think one of the critiques maybe of five was that while there were all sort of outlandish characters, in the end, they didn't really feel that real to me. Like there was not like it wasn't really a cohesive story there, in my opinion. Um, but it was fun though. So, but and I hope that there's more to that in this game. Plus, I think we all still want to feel that sort of gangster life, right? That you get like your condos, you can splurge your wealth and show off. I hope that they're gonna bring that back so that you can sort of experience that in all its glory. But yeah, it definitely looks impressive, and yeah, of course, the place to play it is the PlayStation. I mean, especially since the PC release is not coming day and date. You're obviously going to play best on the PS5 Pro. So yeah, that's where I'll be at. But yeah, I'll definitely will get this day one. It depends, of course, indeed, like what Viper said, what's happening at that point in time. If I'll play day like, hey, look, if they're gonna announce, hey, the next Yakuza game is gonna drop the same month, then
Yeah,
tough luck, GTA. You're gonna have to wait. But other than that, but I suspect that that nobody's gonna launch anything near that launch window because they know what's up. So yeah, we'll definitely hop on that because what I've seen so far looks good.
definitely. Nah, yeah, I think you're spot on. I mean, I think that's kind of why they gave a lot of people the courtesy of that release date. I think that was more for the industry than it was us.
Yeah.
So everybody could clear out and stop guessing, because that was always the thing. Is like a lot of people, a lot of other companies that didn't know were like delay, delay, delay. That's why you got so many games this year that were to be announced. That
Yeah, I
Mhm.
need those games to set definitive dates because there's a lot of games that I've been waiting on the date for, and I could clearly tell that they were waiting for GTA to sound off. So now that GTA sound off, I need them to start coming out in orderly fashion about when I'm gonna get my games.
no, yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
Omar,
Yeah,
you okay over there?
yeah, no, I'm okay. It's just I knew this game getting delayed the second we got a release date for God of Yote.
Yeah, everybody knew that.
Like PlayStation was aware, and it was interesting to see. Watching the trailer myself, yeah, I've seen what you call it, people giving props stuff like that. I'm like, come on, it's Rockstar. If there is one thing they're known for, it's what you call it, attention to detail. So I'm not surprised by that. I'm absolutely not. There is even one moment where he tried to go onto the couch, and you can see them animating it, stepping on the couch with his knee. So yeah, I'm like, did you not play GTA or Red Dead Redemption? So that's genuinely not surprised. Besides that, my question is always gonna be, who is gonna die? Who is gonna betray who? Clearly, there is someone that gonna die or betray the other.
I mean, it would be
I
funny
play.
for them to
I played
think
way
otherwise.
too many games to not, you know, like this is clear. I wanna say the name of the game, but then that the game have a betrayal, so I'm gonna leave it at that. I played way too many games to know. Yeah, something is up with this. A power couple is so hard to create in games that you don't see them often. So I'm curious
Is
if
it
this
though?
could. Sorry.
Is it though? I mean, it
For
takes
the
two.
most part, you don't have power couple. Most of the time, your game you play, you're either single or married, but your partner is dead or whatever, or kidnapped or stuff like that,
I mean,
or you're
dude,
trying
dude,
to
dude,
get.
dude, 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 hold on. Uncharted, you know, Nate,
Look,
Elena,
Uncharted,
takes
it
two.
took. Yeah, but up until the final part where they got married. Beforehand, they were literally recruiting themselves into a relationship. Also, not to forget, what's his name? Nathan. He had something with what's her name, Nadine. So there is that. Well, it a definition from what is something. So I'm curious if,
You
but
mean
yeah, no,
Chloe,
going
not
back.
Nadine.
Sorry,
You
Chloe.
mean
Yeah,
Chloe.
my
yeah.
bad. Yeah, Chloe. Yeah. So, but yeah, going back to uh, GTA. Yeah, I know. It's genuinely who's gonna betray who. That's how it feels to me. As for the 30 FPS, like I just I'm gonna enjoy the mental gymnastics that people are gonna go through just to say they wanna play GTA 6 at 30 FPS, knowing that these same people that rejected to play Ratchet at 30 or Spider-Man at 30 or name any game on PlayStation front at 30 because it's 30. Like, that's gonna be so fucking funny. Beyond belief.
Wait, why would they say it about those games? Those games had 60 FPS options.
No, I forgot which, but some of them didn't. So,
No, all three
um,
games that you named had 60. I don't think PlayStation
m-
hasn't released a game that's been 30 only.
I'm thinking I'm talking about other Ratchet beforehand. I remember having conversation about a game on PlayStation that was 30. I forgot which one, but no, they dunked on PlayStation for a lot for having 30
The frames
FPS
gone.
game. I'm talking maybe frame gone, maybe. Um, but yeah, going back to it, it's gonna be funny seeing them accepting 30. Me that always play 30 game, I'm like, that's natural for me. I don't care 30, come here. Yeah, uh, I'm curious what they're gonna do gameplay wise. Uh, do you switch on the fly between two characters? Does it take a little bit to switch between two characters? What's gonna do? I'm genuinely curious how they're gonna do gameplay wise. But yeah, besides that, congratulations. We finally have a release date. Well, no, a delay. And the most important part, which Morgan said, is uh,
Everyone else
the
can put
release
their
date
release dates.
now. Yeah, release date now for other games. Like, yeah, everyone was scared. And their mother was scared about releasing their game prior to a GTA. So, yeah, now the industry can breathe safe for a little bit up until next year, which that's going to be insane. Intergalactic, GTA 6, and Wolverine in the same year?
I mean, we don't know about those two, but yeah.
Yeah,
If it's
one
it,
of them will be out.
you think? You don't think both are gonna, all three gonna go?
I mean, we haven't had any confirmation, so no.
We're gonna see. Also, there is quite a lot of new games, so it's gonna be interesting to see what's gonna release next year. But as far, and one thing I need to stress, and I need to say, we are, at least for me, I'm speaking for me. I don't speak for anyone else. I'm not hurting GTA 6 not dropping this year. There is way too many games that I'm excited about that I'm absolutely gonna play to worry about the GTA 6. And I only have two platforms. Well, three. PlayStation, PC, and Xbox. Uh, I don't have a Switch. If I had a Switch, it would be even worse. And when I say worse, I meant backlog-wise. But yeah, no, I'm super excited to see what they're gonna do with the GTA 6, what next year gonna bring to the table,
Cool.
and if it's gonna be 30 FPS or not.
Yeah, we'll find that out. Um,
Yep.
but yeah, moving to the next topic. The other thing we didn't get to cover when they had it initially, uh, they also showed PlayStation had a state of play, which a bunch of people were complaining about before it actually happened. which is ironic because after it happened, to the tune of a lot of fanfare, a lot of people really enjoyed what they saw. Um, they got to see pretty much pure gameplay. Um, that was again one of the biggest things that gave away that GTA probably wasn't coming this year because obviously Gearbox is under Take Two and so on and so forth, and they would be one of the ones to first know when GTA is coming out. So that game,
Borderlands 4. Yeah.
yeah, being slated, to come out this fall, everybody kind of had an idea that it looks like it was probably going to be delayed. But yeah, when they showed off Borderlands 4, it looked impressive. They had a great showing. The game looked incredible. They added a ton of a ton of new things, ways to create different weapons, to create much more variance with the weapons. They also added a couple new manufacturers. You no longer have to go to the catcher ride in order to materialize your vehicle. You can just kind of press the button and just kind of shows up, and
Oh,
it'll
that one I
digitize
missed.
underneath
That one
you.
I missed. Interesting. Yeah.
And then of course they added the glider feature as well. So you can kind of get around that massive environment, these big maps that they went with. They spoke about it at length earlier. One of the main reasons why they weren't going to launch with a mini map, but they do still have a map which you can mark, as well as using the new Echo Bot, which will direct you exactly where you need to go based on where you marked or your current objective. So yeah, they showed, like I said, showed off so many things. You got to see some of the powers from pretty much all of the new protagonists. They all have 3 skill trees like we're normally used to. They also came out with more information later stating there's going to be 2 more Vault Hunters minimum for the DLC, which is going to be great. A lot of times those are a lot of fun as well. So you end up with 6 characters, which is always a good time. You can really create
Mm-hmm.
some fantastic teams, great synergies between each of them. They showed a lot of dynamic changes between the combat, with the way some of the you can alter some of your skills. I know they showed the summoning ability for the siren, where depending on what gun she was using and what type of ammo she was using, uh, the cat would actually change, and the summons would alter it. So if you're using corrosive damage or something because you're fighting something metal, the cat will also change to corrosive damage as well, which is actually really dope because obviously you're probably using a specific type of damage for a reason. So for your pet to also acknowledge that and switch with you is pretty dope. A lot of other stuff, an assassin type. Obviously, they always got the big muscle guy in the room, and so on and so forth. But yeah, like I said, everything they showed just looked incredible. A little slight change, updating the graphics and stuff. Like people didn't really get it until you've seen a lot of comparisons. Someone did a video that showed the progress over the years, Borderlands 1, 2 to 3, and then 4. And a lot of people were just like, dang, it's incredible to really see how they took it to the next level with this game. And then, like I said, there a lot of the feedback from 3 was really heard. They spoke a lot about, the writing. Obviously, that's something we got to see and judge for ourselves. But they did say, we heard you guys, with a lot of what you said about having, appropriate protagonists and antagonists within the game that, actually are entertaining and not just annoying like they were in 3. But yeah, like I said, that everything looked incredible. I'll go to Morgan first on this one since I know you have not really played one, but you are a big co-op girl, so this is a massive co-op game coming out later this year that you're gonna get to experience with everybody. So, how are you feeling as it pertains to you coming out this fall?
Um, yeah, I'm not a big Borderlands person. The first Borderlands is the Borderlands that I played with you guys, which was Tiny Tina Wonderland. Um, I did watch the state of play. Uh, I did like what I see. I like what I saw during the state of play. It looked interesting. The gunplay and everything and the gameplay looked fun. It looks a lot more intriguing. So I am willing to play this game again because I'm playing with you guys. So I'm definitely gonna give it a shot. I went into the state of play really not expecting much, like because again I'm not a Borderlands fan or anything. I haven't played the series, so I wasn't expecting much when I went into the state of play. I was just watching it for watching its sake, but it did leave me very interested in finding out more and wanting to play it. So I do look forward to playing it. It is coming out September. I don't think I have anything in September to play. I know Ghost doesn't come out till October, so pretty sure September's pretty free unless I am forgetting something. Because Mafia doesn't comes out in August, I believe. But yeah, looks good. I'm interested in trying it out. Hopefully it'll be a better experience. Tiny Tina was okay, but it wasn't really anything. I was like, I could take it or leave it. It was just about playing with y'all. So this one does look a little bit more interesting. So hopefully the story and the characters will captivate me on this one.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, this is a whole different ball game to Tiny Tina. Sadly, that was a bad first experience for you, because I don't know what they were doing with Tiny Tina. That is not Borderlands. Um, but yeah, you get the real experience this
Yeah.
time. So thankfully,
When the DLC, which is Borderlands 2 DLC, is better than your entire main game, which is Tarantino, something went wrong.
yeah. But thankfully they acknowledge that, and it looks like they're pushing on with Borderlands 4, and like I said, switching up a lot of what they did with 3 that people didn't like, and it just like I said, it looks really incredible. So I'm excited for you to get the real, genuine Borderlands 4 experience. So, and get to experience one of the best co-op games we've ever had. Uh, Viper, I don't know if you play them like that. I'm not really sure. I think I mean I played it a bit ago, but did you get a chance to check out the state of play?
Yes, I've seen the state of play. Um, I mainly tuned in thinking there might be a surprise or two somewhere,
Okay.
but I knew what it was about. But no, I'm not. Well, okay, I got a better question. It's not going to be on Game Pass, is it?
No, absolutely not.
No.
Nope.
Uh,
I have the feeling PlayStation of the marketing right,
Yeah,
which
I
I
think
think is, yeah.
PlayStation has the
Well,
marketing
yeah,
rights
because
as
they had
well.
to stay to
So
play.
So
yeah,
the PlayStation, yeah.
well,
And if the
would
game
y'all?
is like that, it's not gonna be in Game Pass.
So the reason why I'm asking is because remember how I said I would never participate in the fuckery of Game Pass?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, I kind of have an account now.
Oh man.
Damn!
Oh man,
You joined the dark side.
the mighty have fallen.
Oh, hold on. Let me explain. Let me
Uh-huh.
explain. So
No, no,
I
no
got.
This name
excuses.
is one, isn't it?
No, seriously.
Yo, I fucking know I never got one.
I know I gave y'all. I gave many people shit about Game Pass, and I said I
Mm.
would never. I said I would punt Xboxes if I saw them. I wouldn't even give them away as gifts. I know what I said. I know what I said.
Mm.
But gaming is gaming, and I realized, you got to play the games. You can't just,
Yes, dude.
Yo,
So
this man
when you
folded. Oh man.
no,
So
he folded before. He folded on the portal. Remember?
Oh
He is
yeah.
the original folder. I will never forget that one. He
um,
talked so much trash about the portal, and he was the first one
yes,
to
that is
embrace
true.
it.
I said the portal was gonna be shit, and I use it like no other. Um,
But what did
because
what did you?
whenever go
Yeah,
ahead,
go
go ahead.
ahead. No,
No,
go
no,
ahead.
whenever I'm at my mother-in-law's house, whenever I'm out. See, I listened to what other people were saying, and I completely disregarded the truth about it. So I
Oh
didn't
man.
know I didn't know that I thought I could only play it in the house. But then once I got
Mm.
it, and I was like, oh, I can use my phone as a hotspot and play it while I'm on the bus and out and
Mhm.
about. My mother-in-law's house when they got company over and I don't want to be bothered. So yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
that one is important, isn't it?
Yes, it is because that's what I
It's
use it
funny. I
for
see a
most.
lot of people have that same mindset still that they think that you can only play the portal in your house. I think PlayStation just did a bad job explaining to people
Right.
how to use it.
But back to Borderlands. I may the reason why I asked about Game Pass is because I may If it's there, I might look at it. If I have a person that wants to like, if my daughter wants to play it, I'll buy it for her and then see what it's like.
Okay.
Because we're game sharing. So, um, but yeah, that's kind of my Borderlands take. I didn't want to hijack it with the other stuff.
No,
Um,
you're
What
good.
did you? What did you? What game pushed you into getting Game Pass? I'm curious.
well, that's the explanation I needed to make. It wasn't a game; it was a coworker.
Oh,
I was at work and I had a we hired some new guy. I'm not gonna mention his name because I don't know if he's listening or not. We hired a new guy. He's a gamer too. He's more of a PC gamer, and so we got to talking about what games we play, and he I know Ready or Not is coming out on the PS5, but I believe it's out on PC already.
yeah.
Um, and he showed me that game. I was like, "Oh, that's cool." I was like, "How you playing it?" Oh, PC Game Pass. I was like, "Oh, really?" So, you know, that's how that happened.
So
And
it's
then
basically not having access to games. Gotcha. It's not
yeah,
about trying games. It's just you want to have access to games that
yes,
PlayStation are late on. Gotcha.
pretty much. That's what I got it for. So, uh, yeah, I'm here now.
So but you didn't pick up
Oh
an Xbox.
man.
You're playing via your PC, right?
Yeah, PC. Hell no, no. I'm playing
Oh,
via
okay.
Oh man.
Okay.
the
He was like,
semi
yeah,
high
he
end.
was like, yeah, we didn't go
Hold
crazy
on.
here.
Did you get a rig or is it still a laptop?
It's still a laptop. It's still a laptop. But the
Hmm.
laptop has a 4070 in it. So
Yeah, I was gonna say the laptop you got is
Oh,
really good.
well,
So
that's not like mine. Interesting. Cool.
yeah, actually, I remember when I bought it. It was like 2.5 years ago, 2 years ago, and I took a picture. I was like, I did a thing, and yeah, there was a 470, 4070, and I was like, all right, and it's still going strong today. I will say I don't pick it up as much, but now that I got the PC Game Pass, I do every once in a while.
yeah,
But
it definitely makes a
shouldn't
difference.
is it not possible for you to play with the gamepad on your TV via smartphone? Smart TV, I meant.
Yes, I can also do it on the TV as well. However, I don't. Even though I have Game Pass, I don't want my TV tainted with that shit. It's
Yeah, I mean
the
they use
PS5 graphics
XCloud
only.
anyway, so you know you don't. He might not necessarily want to play via the cloud because XCloud is not that great to be honest.
Yeah, I
I've
was
yet
gonna
to.
say that's not the same experience, and his PC is much more powerful than that.
Yeah, he can
So
play it
Hmm.
natively. Like he ain't got to worry about all that crap. Like yeah, I think
Yep.
it's much better to play it on a
Gotcha.
laptop or a console or something.
But
agreed.
yeah, I'll play Borderlands 4 if given a chance.
Yeah, no doubt. Cool. Weeb, how you feeling about it, man? Okay, Weeb might not be there right now.
Yeah.
Watch he'll come back
Oh,
soon.
sorry, I was mute.
There
No,
he is.
I have no feelings about Borderlands,
Okay, that's cool. Cool, no problem.
except that Randy Pitchford is a fucking asshole.
That is perfectly understandable. I do
Yeah,
not
that
care for that. I do not
I'm not
care for
gonna
that
lie.
man.
Yeah, me neither. I am actually surprised he showcased himself with that hairstyle. Like, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. He just can't not be there when they present the game. So, but it's cool because
Yeah.
I'm there for the game, so I don't really care. Omar, obviously, you play it a lot. You're playing the older ones now, uh, going through it like you said with Prince. Um, so obviously, after hearing all that, some of the stuff you were surprised that I mentioned that you missed. How are you feeling about Borderlands 4?
So yeah, I missed out that I thought that he summoned the vehicle, but it didn't register to me that you don't need catch a ride to summon your vehicle anymore. So in one fell swoop, they fixed two major components, which is you don't need to go to an area to fast travel, and you don't need to go to an area to pick up your gear, your car. Which is also you don't need to go to multiple people to pick up your quest lines. the second you open the map up via Assassin's Creed tower style, you're automatically opening all the side quests. Like, that's genius. If there is one thing Gearbox have been doing with Borderlands is showcasing how quality of life can improve significantly your gameplay. They introduced it with two auto pickup for your ammo and your money, and now they introduced the option to remove the to make it so that if you pick up uh, certain uh, certain amount certain loot type, which is it depends on your choice. It can be white, green, blue, purple. It automatically gets sold. You don't need to even sell it at a shop. So this showcase to me is that they understand people's time and value, and they are focusing on that. One thing they said, you're not gonna do uh, boss rush any boss farming anymore, because now we're introducing a new ability to uh, fight bosses and get even more better loot with level difficulties. I'm like, thank you very much. Like, they're learning, they're absolutely learning, and they're absolutely understanding that 3 was not it, which is why we're going now to a new different planet, starting a totally new different story. Yes, some cameo characters are gonna be there, but for the most part, it's gonna be fresh. Another thing I like is the, at least from what I have understood, Siren is a hybrid between a siren and a beast tamer. Time timing the fuck up. So I'm curious if other characters are gonna be a hybrid as well, and if so, how you can build them and stuff like that. And besides that, you said it. The hovering is a huge thing for me. Another thing is, like, if you think about it, not they have four new ways of traversal. It's double jump, it's hovering, it's wall climbing or rock climbing, whatever you want to call it, and it is your whip or grapple hook. Like, literally, uh, Borderlands said, "Hold my beer. We're gonna showcase to you how we improve from 3 to 4. You didn't like 3. We didn't give you characters, DLC characters for 3. Don't worry about it. We're fixing all of that. 3 was had a terrible story. We're moving on away from that. You didn't fuck with Ava as a character. She might not. She might exist in 4. I'm not gonna say that. But yeah, no, I'm super excited. I'm so fucking excited that Borderlands is back. Me and Nate, we've been saying it. Gearbox, Borderlands is the king when it comes to looter shooter, and I question who is gonna come to for their head. Who is gonna try to be the king? So far, nobody have even been able to do it. Borderlands king, and it's crazy how they're learning from their mistakes. Like 3 was not it, Tiny Tina was not it, going back to the basics. We're gonna see. Are they gonna be able to create a legendary villain that rivals Handsome Jack? Only time will tell.
Okay. Cool. No, cool. Yeah, I mean the game, like I said, looks really good, so I can't really wait. I'm excited to get into it and hopefully get Morgan and Viper to see the ways of the greatness that is the Borderlands series.
I
Um,
hope so.
I
yeah,
think 4 could be a great entry point for them because of how simplified they made it when it comes to the quality of life improvements, but also because of the new story and also the traversal. I think the battle gonna draw a lot of people in.
Yeah, we'll see. And
Oh,
other, what happened?
oh, sorry. They just said, I don't know if anybody cares about this, but Wario just tweeted out that Giant Bomb is now independent. The gaming website, the one that's like that is owned by like Jeff Grubb and all them people.
I thought it. I
They're
thought they
independent now.
start. I thought they started. I thought they started it because they wanted to be independent. I didn't know they.
No, I think it was because it was owned by Fandom, I guess.
Yeah, the
So
company that owns like everything right now.
yeah,
Yeah,
Hmm?
it owns like a bunch
Wasn't
of
that
the
the
publications.
former GameSpot guy?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I thought that was a big reason why
Right.
they left, but I didn't know they weren't independent. But I mean, that's good. They can
hmm
cover
They
things
sold it. They
accordingly
sold
now.
it to them, so they own it now.
Hell yeah! I know they're excited about that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Giant Bomb. Definitely it was like you were saying, Jeff Gertzman from previously GameSpot had went there to kind of do a more independent thing, and I guess they were got owned by ended up getting owned by the company that famously owns a bunch of the publications at this point, which is a big point of contention for games journalism. So yeah, shout out to them. That's a big congrats. Um, in other news, Death Stranding 2 has gone gold and they launched a new trailer. Saw Kojima and dev team all signing a little like a little bauble or something or whatever they had there. I'm assuming it's some sort of Japanese tradition. I wasn't sure what it was that they were signing, but you had a big picture of the whole team and everybody, and then like I said, they released a brand new trailer showcasing the game. Uh, I mean, congrats to them. The game looks amazing.
Mhm.
Um, I know Morgan was telling me that I guess there's a bunch of previews that people got to go and check out the game. Um, I know, I guess Skill Up was one of the main ones that got to play 40% of the game or something, along with obviously uh, the running joke with Jeff Keighley. Uh, he was the first to get dibs, because, you know.
Man put up a
Come
whole
on, this would
dissertation about
be
his opinion of Death Stranding 2. I said, man, if you don't,
no,
Oh,
but the,
and Nate, what you're talking about is a Daruma. It's these traditional let you draw in the other eye because it usually one eye is not drawn in.
Okay, got you. Yeah, that I saw them drawing on it, so I didn't know what they were. I was like, okay, so the eye's missing. Okay, it's a Daruma. Got you.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, but it looks like one to celebrate the gold status and completion for Death Stranding 2. Them sealing that master disc, and everything they showed looks really good.
I
So
wish they put that DS2 Daruma in the collector's edition. Would have bought it.
yeah, right, right. Yeah, like anything but the little, I forget what they're called, but the thing the Death Stranding that you fight, but I can't remember what it's called though. Um,
Yeah, the one where you apparently control with where your ship is the head. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that one. But yeah, I was like, nah, I'm not feeling that. But I'm definitely day one. The game itself is looking insane. They showcase some more traversal, a bunch of different
Yep.
environments, a bunch of new tech. It looks like, for him walking. If you've played the first one, you know what we're talking about. He always had different skeletons and things like that that were, you know, that were able to assist him while he was delivering packages, gave you different strength or speed or better balance and things like that.
The
Um,
exoskeletons.
yeah, the exoskeletons. So yeah, I mean the game was amazing. We're hearing that. I mean, this is really the realization of what Death Stranding 1 was starting out as. So to really see it in the ship, where they're able to travel in the Death Stranding itself, and all this other stuff, like everything just looks insane. Um, Excitement through the roof for it at this point. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited. Uh, Viper, I'll start with you, man. How are you feeling after seeing everything?
Well, let me start off by saying that I got the collector's edition.
Okay. Okay.
I I just realized that it's still in my wish list on PlayStation, so of course a double dipping is about to happen.
Absolutely.
Because if the package should be late 1 second, I'm gonna be pissed.
You
Cause
said, "No, I need that immediately."
I
Yeah,
the moment that
especially
one
when
got
you're paying for the 3 day early access too.
yes,
That's
yep. So yeah, that this is probably one of my one only top two day one games that I would actually just punt whatever I'm playing just to get started on it. Um, I saw that it went gold. I was ecstatic about it. Immediately, I went to look for my collector's edition order, and then I thought my mom was playing tricks on me because I couldn't find the email. So I was like, "Wait, did I not buy it?" So I went deep diving through my emails trying to see if I purchased it. Had to do a search for Death Stranding and found it that I purchased it on March 17th, which I believe was um, the day that the pre-orders went live for them. Yeah, I'm man, I can't wait for this game. I it, I knew in the battles when they were fighting stuff that looked like a foot, or they were fighting stuff that looked like a hand. Once I saw the foot, once I saw the hand, and then I saw a head, I was like, "Oh, they on some Transformer shit right now. Them pieces are gonna come together. You're gonna have to fight that." I knew that before they even showed it towards the end. Um, Man, everything about this game I'm looking forward to because I love the first one so much. Actually, I'm on Twitter now because I got exposure from damn, I can't remember his name. He allowed me on my first space, and the first thing I talked about was Death Stranding. Damn, he passed away. I can't remember his name.
Oh, Optimus Code.
Optimus.
Yeah, Optimus Code. He is the reason why I'm in the social media space right now. Before I was just a lurker, like 2018, 19. I was just a lurker, just listening to stuff. But once he did a space, it was about Death Stranding, and I did my little 6 minute spiel on in a space about it, and there I was. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the DS2, most definitely.
Yeah, shout out to Optimus Code, RIP. He was legendary.
Absolutely. Uh, Omar, how are you feeling about it?
Nothing at all, apparently.
Omar, yeah,
Soulless.
you have no opinion. I'm assuming that his mic all of a sudden stopped working or something, or he happened to walk away or something random. The things
Yep,
that
there he
Omar
goes. He
always
just
does.
left.
Yep. And now he came back.
Hello?
Are you good
Yep.
now?
Damn it. I genuinely need a new mic, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know
It,
what's going on with your mic.
for some reason, it stopped working despite it being red. Red means it should be working. So, sorry about that. As always, it's not a podcast
Do you do
without
you keep
technical
touching the
difficulties.
top of the mic and muting it on accident?
No, no, I don't know. My mic is literally red, which means it's working.
All right. But yeah,
So,
how are you feeling
all
about Death Stranding?
yeah, no, you already know. This is the training we're talking about. This is the walking sim. Remember? But going back to it, I'm so excited. I remember Black 1 gameplay loop, super fucking addictive. Planning your loop, planning your route, building your bridges. Like, yeah, no, I'm so excited. Like, I just wanna know what's up with 2. How do we get to 2? I'm I'm so excited, and I'm curious if we're gonna have multiple playable characters, or it's only gonna be Sam. And there are moments where we're not gonna be with the baby. So also, I'm curious, will the baby have other powers? Because the baby is growing right now. So yeah, it's gonna be legendary. Like, this is why I'm hesitant to say 33 Goti. We have Ghost of We have Ghost of Yote and we have Death Training too to focus on as well. So, like, when Death Training came out, that was my game of the year. Over Take Two. So I can't wait for Death Training too. Um, Other than that, yeah, no. Environmental damage, like we've seen, and at the end we're gonna fight a mecha, and there is a Solid Snake uh, cameo. Like, what else do you want? You already know music is gonna be legendary. Like, yeah, no. Sign me the fuck up day one. I don't want to miss it for anything. You gotta mute yourself. Okay?
Oh, everybody's muted, man. What the heck?
Yeah. Me and you, I guess. Viper, you're alive or?
Yep, yep. I'm
Hey, he's
here. Yeah.
here.
It did seem like you was off on your lonesome for a minute there.
Yeah, no, now you can stay on mute. We can talk. Viper, what you cause you guys, you fuck with physical a lot, right?
I
Oh my god,
used
he
to,
he he already said he's getting the collectors, Omar.
Yeah, no,
but
I'm
yeah,
aware, and the collector is physical,
yeah.
but
No.
There is no
but
physical in the collectors. They give you a digital download. There's no physical at all with the
yeah,
collectors.
I'm aware. So, what your thoughts on that front?
Um, I would be pissed if I was a physical person. I would be pissed if I was a regular collector's edition person because I know a lot of people are upset that there's no steelbook, there's no physical disc or what have you. But because I've been digital for the last 4 years or so,
Hmm?
um, it doesn't bother me as much, and especially since I don't get collector's editions that often. The only collector's editions I have are both Death Stranding. Now that I think about it, I don't have any other collector's edition but Death Stranding. Um, so it doesn't bother me much, but I would be pissed if I were other people who did physical collections. I really would.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I think we would be upset about that.
I mean, we talked about that before on the show, so it's fine.
Well, but one thing real quick. Here's the thing though, there are people, and this is the reason why they're going to continue to give it to us that way. There are people who will complain, no physical, no physical, no physical,
And then buy it.
and then turn around and buy it. And I'm like, that's the reason why they're going to give it to you that way. You have to
Yep.
have the willpower to just not buy it.
Yeah,
FOMO is a bitch.
that's true.
I,
Morgan,
I I had willpower to not buy it.
yeah, Morgan, how you feel about Death Stranding?
Um, yeah, Death Stranding 2 looks amazing. I mean, we've gotten some updates on the gameplay and traversal in the game. From people who got to play it, a lot of people got hands on, got to play like 30 hours of the game. Supposedly Kojima said it's gonna be like 100 hours. I don't think that's main game. I think that's just like main game and side stuff is gonna be 100 hours total. Um, so yeah, we can expect a bigger uh, open world experience. Supposedly, this game's gonna be a lot more fast paced out the gate. Skill Up, who got to play it, says that a lot of people who were put off by the first game because of the slow start. He didn't think it was a slow start, but he said he noticed a lot of people didn't like the beginning of the game for the first game. But this second game, the beginning is more fast paced, more get right into the action once you start off. So he thinks a lot of people who maybe got put off by that will enjoy it with the second game. Um, they like increased apparently like the ways that you can traverse and the strategies that you can use to get from point A to B. There's going to be day and night cycles now that affect how we deliver. Night you'll be able to sneak around a lot more, but obviously you can't see, so you're more likely to run into BTs and enemies like that. Um, they also added a weather system So there'll be like earthquakes, flash floods. They said like what you call the fires, flash fires, and things like that, lightning. So environmental factors will play a part into it. Apparently, you can like rescue animals too. That like because this is gonna take place in Mexico and Australia. So apparently, you're gonna be having missions where you like rescue like kangaroo and stuff like that. So I was just like, that sounds awesome. I would definitely be rescuing some animals in this game. Um, so that's going to be another gameplay mechanic. And from like the clips of gameplay I've seen, it seems like the BTs are a lot more aggressive now. It used to be where you can kind of sneak through a BT field, hold your breath, walk around, just walk slowly. You could, essentially just skip a BT battle, right? If you were just patient enough and slow enough to methodically walk around the BTs. But from what I've seen, and this is not me saying that this is definitive, it's just from what I see with the gameplay, it looks like the BTs are going to be more active and that they're once they spot you, like they look like they can actually see you now, right? Instead of just hearing you. From what I saw, like it looks crazy. Like the BT had like the glowing eyes, and they saw you, and then all hell broke loose, and they caught you. Like it looks like it's going to be a lot more um, BT battles that are just going to happen regardless of the precautions you take, which is cool. And it also apparently there's going to be a more RPG like mechanics in the game. It seems like you can customize Sam's traits is what they were talking about. Like use memories that you acquire through the gameplay to enhance his traits. Like they had like 4 traits. I think it was like Porter, Combat, Stealth, and Servicemanship. And so you're going to be able to customize your Sam to be different than somebody else's depending on your playstyle. And the more you do something, another RPG mechanic they have is like the more you do a certain trait, the higher that trait is. So if you're more stealthy, your stealth is going to go up. If you do more action stuff, your action stats are going to go up. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. That's the kind of RPG mechanics I like. Like you actually increase in the things that you do as a player. So your Sam will be different than somebody else's Sam who does, plays the game differently than you essentially. And then they and then they were talking about the different weapons, and I think one of the funnier weapons that that Skill Up talked about, and it was very Kojima type of weapon too. It was like he said, unfortunately the piss grenades have gone. And I was like, no.
Oh man.
The piss grenades, man. Like let me throw my pee, okay? I feel like something was taken from me when he said that.
That man
But he
was a
said,
human weapon.
you know
Okay,
what I'm saying?
you can put that on a T-shirt. Let me throw my pee.
Let me throw my pee. It is my right.
Okay.
But he did say like they did have this weapon called the blood boomerang, and I was like, of course he does, because freaking Kojima put this game in Australia, so of course he's gonna make like the a weapon based on the most stereotypical Australian thing, which is a freaking boomerang.
I mean,
So
sign me up. So
he's like, it's exactly how it sounds. Sam throws this boomerang filled with his blood at BTs, and it comes back to you. And I was just like, of course it does. Yeah, of course Kojima did that. But yeah, it's gonna be different weapons, and then there's gonna be like with the bushfires that happen, you were gonna have this weapon called the little tar gun. He's shown it in trailers where you essentially throw it fires tar at fires to put it out. So we'll be doing stuff like that. I was like, okay, only you can prevent forest fires. That's what Smokey the Bear said. So looks like we'll be doing that. It's just it's like a lot of different things, going on that are going to be affecting. Like I said, I like the environmental factors and the day and night cycle that they're adding. I think that's going to add like a great dynamic to the change in gameplay. And I like that it's going to be a little bit faster pace. There's going to be a lot of things going on. And Skill Up also said that because people were asking him if it was going to be easier or a more difficult game from the first one. He said it felt slightly easier. Um, you know,
Really?
yeah, I knew that was gonna bother you, Omar.
No, no. The only reason I'm saying that is because of how the BT was way more aggressive.
Yeah, he was just like it seemed slightly easier to like it like they give you a lot more leeway, a lot more weapons, a lot more things to do to kind of take care of enemies in this game. You get access to vehicles a lot earlier in the game. Like it's just a lot more options are given to you early on, so it's not as difficult as it was, and having to do extra things to get the stuff that in the first game. It's a lot easier to get them in this game, and you get them a lot sooner. So it wasn't difficult essentially, really. Um, but yeah, it just seems like Kojima's he looks like he's kind of listened to some of the feedback that he's gotten from the first game and is trying to alter it a little bit. But Skill Up said that the core of the game is still there, right? It's still Death Stranding. It's if you love the first one, you're gonna love the second one. He said everybody that was there who tried the game absolutely loved it. They all walked away happy. They all walked away loving the game. Um, he's like it's absolutely breathtaking. He said the opening of the game, one of the best openings he's seen ever. So he was just gushing over it. Like he didn't really have anything negative to say about the game. So that's good sign for me. I was just like, okay, cool, bet. I mean, not that I doubted the game anyway. I knew the game was going to be great, but it just sounds like Kojima's getting into his stride with Death Stranding 2. From everything I'm hearing about it and all the little changes and us, I'm interested to see how the hell we get to Australia.
Right.
From Mexico, that'll be an interesting little trip,
I
I guess.
mean, did you not see the floating thingy? That
I
is great.
did, but we are also going over a whole ocean, so that's why I'm interested to see how we're gonna do it. Um, but yeah, it's going to be very interesting. As he said, it's a lot more diverse in the terrain than in the first one. So we're going to be to a bunch of different environments, climbing up mountains, forests, all kinds of things. So I can't wait. It looks absolutely amazing. Looks absolutely breathtaking. It looks like my PlayStation will be mad at me because I will be taking many screenshots and recording many videos on this, using up probably all my damn space to do it. Um, yeah, I have no complaints of what I've seen. Kojima has, you know, he loves editing his trailers, and he's given us many trailers. So I don't really need to see anything else. I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
ready for the game to come out. It's a day one, absolutely for me. Cannot wait to see where Sam's journey takes us. Are we gonna finally get that final extinction, or is Sam gonna prevent it again? It's gonna be the ultimate question. Um, is Higgs gonna get his way this time? We shall see.
Right. Definitely. Did I get everybody? I want to make sure because I
No,
had
you didn't get Weeb.
okay.
Yeah, only yourself left.
Wait,
Yeah,
you
I
didn't
mean,
ask Weeb though either.
already talked. So,
Oh, okay.
but yeah, Weeb,
Yeah.
how you feeling about it after the final trailer that we got here?
Uh, yeah, I mean, I already pre-ordered it, so
we've
to me,
said
I
it's enough. I'm ready.
that's enough. Yeah, I mean, I was ready when they announced it. Like I didn't need any more. I was already sold. But yeah, good to hear that it's doing seemingly everything better than the first game, which was expected. I mean, you make a sequel. You process feedback, try to make it better and bigger. Yeah, I mean, and yeah, in Kojima we trust, so we'll be all right.
Absolutely. Uh,
Hmm.
so yeah, we'll go ahead and get on to our next topic here. This is gonna be our last topic. I'll save the Doom one for later once we're actually all uh, be able to take a shot at it, and then we'll discuss that all at once. So we'll go
Okay.
to uh, Omar's topic, where Omar wanted to discuss the past versus the present uh, gamer that you are today. as in your play style, has it changed, and also the genres that you play, were there genres that you stopped playing, um, and were there genres that you started or now play that you didn't back then. Um, we'll start with Omar since it's his topic, and he can kind of give us the rundown on how he feels his play style has changed and what genres he used to play.
So very quick, how did I come to this topic? Basically because of our conversation with me and Morgan about how I play the way I play, and also because of a comment from a tweet that we saw about a person not knowing if he's gonna like this game or not. And you're like, oh, that's because they don't know what they like. So that made me question, did I know what I used to love back then? And how am I different from now? And to be honest, when it comes to genre, a lot. Like I used to play horror. I used to be a fan of Resident Evil, and all that shit. I dropped that. The last Resident Evil I played was 4. Ah, no, I think 6. Which was with my brother, little brother, but that shit was terrible. But yeah, no. Um, Other than that, back in the heyday, I hated anything FPS. Mostly because I played Call of Duty and Medal of Honor, and I'm not a fan, especially COD. Like Medal of Honor was entertaining. I grew up with Medal of Honor and what you call it, the other one I forgot what it's called. Um, and other than that, fighting games like I used to be a massive Tekken fan, dude. I used to listen to Tekken 4 um, reveal for hours upon end. And yeah, I moved away from Tekken. I moved away from fighting in general. Like knowing me, if we get a Bloody Raw remake or a Rival School remake, I'm absolutely gonna be day one. But besides that, yeah, no. What you call it? Fighting is another genre that I moved away from. What did I gain then, if I talk about now? Well, I love MMO offline RPG, like the hack genre. Another thing is, I actually love FPS now. So long it's not COD, like, what you call it, one of the best FPS I played is Titanfall 2. Till today, we just talked about Borderlands, like, Borderlands is an FPS, no matter how you play it, slice it and dice it. And other FPS game I played, Ghost Runner, all these game FPS, like even Cyberpunk, which I'm gonna say is Cyberpunk, not Cyberdrunk, cause it's fixed. Um, Other than that, um, yeah, uh, I love Soul games. I learned to know that I love Soul games mostly because of Demon Souls. I remember literally trading Ratchet and Clank at the Time one, Rift and Time, I think. I forgot what it is, which one it is. For original copy of the Japanese version of Demon Souls, and I never looked back. Despite me never beating Demon Souls, I did beat Dark Souls 1, 2. I've yet to play 3, but I played Sekiro at the final boss to beat it, but a different conversation. I beat Bloodborne, Bleached Bloodborne DLC. Like, I'm a huge Souls fan. So, yeah, um, it's interesting to see the dynamic between who I was to versus who I am now. And not to forget, Metrovania. A huge Metrovania fan, but also platforming fan. So it's interesting to see once you have it's not like that I didn't have the ability. I did, but it was random. I got what I got. I got gifted the games I got, and the way I grew with Final Fantasy, and that's it now. Look where it is right now. I grew up with Kingdom Hearts and Kingdom Hearts 4. I will see how that turned out to be. So yeah, at the end of the day, I do believe it's a good thing to know who you are as a gamer, what you like, and also be more open-minded. Try out new things. If it don't work out, it don't work out. At least you know. Like I tried puzzle games. This is why I know I'm not gonna ever touch blueprints because I know I will suck at it. Same with Balatro. I'm not a fast gamer. So yeah, that's it for me. I'm curious about Morgan. What about you? How do you see yourself? And also, did your gameplay also styles change?
I don't know why you're curious because we talked about this before the podcast. My gameplay style hasn't really changed much, other than the fact that I added JRPGs to it. That's pretty much it for me.
Simple.
Gotcha. Weep?
What do you mean with gameplay style?
Okay, basically, this is how I play games my entire life. I never changed. Some people change, others don't, like I didn't. But
Well,
okay,
what Omar means
remember?
is he was stubborn his whole life and has
I mean,
always limited himself
why
to
is
the
it
hardest
stubborn?
difficulty and being a
So,
Why
masochist
is
so,
it
via
so,
video games.
so,
why
so,
is it
so, so, so
stubborn when
you
you
should not
can
make it
literally?
so difficult on yourself.
No, the opposite. You get something amazing out of it, either a legendary weapon or a legendary skill, and you're good to go. Which I'm gonna talk off air,
so so
cause
so so for you guys that don't understand, Omar is basically the bird in the experiment where you press a button and they expect to get the reward. That's how Omar was trained. So he always expects the harder the challenge, or the sooner he does something where he's not supposed to be doing it, he's gonna potentially get something really rewarding. So if he doesn't, he's typically gonna
Hmm.
complain about it.
Yeah, then we have to hear about it when he does
I'm not
something that
gonna
no
come.
one told
No,
him to
I
do and
didn't.
he doesn't get what he wants.
Oh, wait, no. If I'm doing a
Yes.
challenge for myself, I'm doing a challenge for myself. I'm not
Omar,
gonna
you
involve
are in the chat
everyone
all the
else.
time writing paragraphs like, bro, I just spent 3 hours doing this and they didn't drop this.
No,
Bro,
but
what the heck?
when it
Like,
comes to,
yes, you do, Omar.
I literally said during our every single JRPG conversation, I wish
Mm.
you could switch XP and money. I've always been on that fence.
Yeah, we're not
Okay,
talking about
I
the
don't
XP
know
and
what
the
that has
money.
to do with
That has
anything.
nothing to do with the reward system we're talking about, though.
The reward system is just me showcasing to the game that I can do stuff like this.
But
Like,
that's irrelevant because we have heard you. This isn't a conversation about a maybe. This is something you've done. You have done something before you knew you were supposed to be doing it, and were then upset that the reward for what you did not justify the effort. So you've definitely done that. That's what we're saying. Now, if you just do it for
He getting
yourself,
quiet
that's
because he's thinking
different.
about it. He said,
yeah, I'm
wait a
genuinely
minute.
thinking about it.
You do it all the
Knowing
time,
me,
Omar. You'll do
knowing me,
something
I might
crazy
have.
that no one asked you to do in a game, and then when that action doesn't give you the reward that you think justified that action, you get upset and you rant about it in the chat. And I'm just like, Omar, nobody told you to do that. Okay, but like I did this thing, I jumped over this cliff and did this little action, and that should have given me a legendary item, but it didn't. That was stupid. And I'm like, okay, but who told you to do that though?
I mean, when you think about it, okay, I get you, but
hmm That's always just saying. But yeah, we may mean to derail you there. Did you have
Oh
anything that you
no.
felt changed, or genres that you've dropped over time, maybe during the Nintendo Sega era, and you're like, oh, I don't really play those no more.
I don't know. I mean, I play pretty much everything. I guess I haven't played an RTS game in a while, but I mean, yeah, that
That's
genre
Yeah, that's
that's
kind
me
kind
of
of a lack
too.
of options.
Yeah,
exactly.
we all
Yeah,
grew up with Command and Conquer, Red Alert.
yeah.
IP
That's
to
kind of
that.
kind of by necessity. I mean, there are some attempts to sort of get that old feeling back from those games, from StarCraft and Command and Conquer, but yeah, it's basically the genre is it's at least kind of abandoned by the big publishers. So I have little hope that those are gonna come back anytime soon. Um, so yeah, I guess that's kind of a thing that I changed because of necessity. I don't know if I'm playing different genres per se. I mean, I'm still playing JRPGs. Uh, I guess maybe I played a bit more platformers back then, and I guess yeah, the entire thing of trophies. Like initially when it came out, I didn't really care for it, and then at some point when I noticed, hey, I got a few plats, some almost plats, that's when I sort of thought, hey, okay, let's try to get those. And that's kind of where I wouldn't say addicted to it, but more like, yeah, I'm always going to check, hey, what's the strategy to the plat? Is it doable? Or is it not annoying? And yeah, then I'll try to get it if I like the game and if it's not too big of a hassle. I guess that's what changed. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't used to care about that. Um, I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I guess back in the day, when yeah, before multiplayer was always online. Like yeah, I did some couch co-op or maybe multiplayer basically, right? Because split screen multiplayer, I mean, which yeah, you don't necessarily do that much anymore these days. Um, but yeah, I still enjoyed my single player games the most. I guess when you were young, you didn't have that many options because I mean. I didn't have disposable income back then, so of course I may have nurtured my games a bit more. I may have replayed some games that I've already played more because yeah, I didn't have that many as I have now. I didn't have a backlog as massive as today, so now I'm much more economical with how I play my games. Yeah, you have that. Very rarely I would replay a game already played for no other reason than just to play it. Because yeah, I got too much, things to play, things to do. Time is short. Um, so yeah, I mean, but other than that, yeah, I guess I'm just still, enjoying the games that I enjoy, and I never really cared for the Call of Duties and the other popular annual franchise. Yeah, I mean I used to play Assassin's Creed, but I also I kind of dropped that when they decide to change it into an RPG and maybe picked it up now with Shadow, but um yeah, I mean, other than that, I just play what I want, and I always have a weakness for the odd ones out or the black swans. The games like I was there with when before Yakuza was popular. So yeah, I credit myself for making it popular. Um,
As you should.
but but I mean, yeah, that's kind of thing. Like I I'm never really bothered by the idea that I have to play something because it's popular, because it's everybody's playing it. I mean, sure, with this podcast, it is. I sometimes have like when a game is in Game Pass or whatever, and I may push myself to okay, let's try it because it would be interesting to give my opinion on it on the podcast. But other than that, I just play what I want, and I generally just I love weird games, the niche games, the games that that are not necessarily popular, and I like you, I enjoy games that have great writing. I guess it's also something that kind of evolved because back in the NES games, I say that that you didn't have like point and click adventures and stuff like that had maybe a lot of reading, but I mean story wasn't necessarily like a thing in terms of presenting a great narrative. You didn't have voice acting. Um, on at least on those consoles. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean that sort of changed, I guess, how you experience games and how sort of the blending of the media, where you also look at it in a different, different perspective, right? You're not just experiencing it as I'm playing something, and no, story doesn't matter. Story matters, yeah, can matter much more now because of the way that games are presented as a sort of a I wouldn't say interactive movie, but basically approximating sort of that level of fidelity, that level of quality, sort of the HBO of games, right? And in that sense, where games have that level of writing and that those voice actors, and then sometimes pretty famous ones. That sort of changes at least how you experience it, and that kind of I wouldn't say play style, more like expectations, right? Because you are especially with the greatness of PlayStation's first party games like Naughty Dog, like Santa Monica, that they're sort of spoiling you with a level of polish and level of presentation that that sets the bar, and that's how you also will compare other games where you go back to the cookie cutter generic stories with campy voice acting. Yeah, unless that's you're purposely going for that as a way of sort of being nostalgia bait. Yeah, you're not going to get away with it anymore. At least not for me. Um, so yeah, I mean, yeah, that I guess that's if that's that answers your question, Omar. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how it changed. Yeah.
Cool. No, uh, no, I get you. That a lot of that makes a lot of sense. Um, a lot of the same way that my stuff has changed or evolved over time. Um, I don't know if Viper can jump in.
Yeah.
No.
So three phases for me. I think I mentioned before. When in my early days, from like 5, 6 years old to like 9, 10, it was nothing but sports and fighting games. Because I was poor and I was a freeloader, so I didn't get to get my own shit. I had to go over my friend's house and play whatever they had. So it was sports, fighting games, wrestling games. Up until 9, it was all my friends had. Didn't know any. I didn't even know any other genres existed other than Mario. Mario, Sonic, and sports games. That's all we ever played. Um, but at 9 years old, I discovered a place called Funkoland, and I went and stood, I went and stood in there, and I saw a game called Mario RPG. Uh, and I was playing Mario RPG as demoing it for people who were going to buy it. And lucky for me, the owners of the store allowed me to play the game demo it for people, so I got to play it from beginning to end, just standing in the store for 6, 7 hours a day. Um,
Damn. Congratulations. That's impressive. Especially
so
for Mario RPG and beatings like that.
right. Oh yeah, and and it was on the fly. Like there was no guidebooks or nothing. I was just demoing it for the people. Um, So then I was just strictly, believe it or not, I was strictly RPG and JRPG until I turned 29 years old. I didn't play or touch anything else for 20 straight years. Um, but when the PS3 came out and it was expensive, I had to wait for the price drop to $2.99 before I got one. The first game I got on that was GT4 because that was what they were advertising. I saw the graphics of GT4. I was like, "Oh, I gotta have it. I gotta have it." But like I said, when PlayStation 3 came out, it was like 750, 720. I was like, I ain't paying that much for a system.
Yeah.
So once the price dropped, I got GT4 and Deus Ex. Um, GT4 introduced me to racing. Deus Ex introduced me to the action RPG type. And so I was still playing my sports, but I wasn't playing multiplayer. I was playing single player seasons by myself because I was really bad at sports games, which is why I kind of didn't want to play any sports games anymore when I was younger because I used to always get my ass whooped, and I was like, man, games sucks. Well, they suck if you can't
Mm.
if you can't play them right. Um, I also started getting puzzle games on the PS3, and that's when platinums were introduced, the trophy system. So I went back, and I didn't start doing platinum runs until the PS4 came out. I got my first platinum for Final Fantasy 13, the first one, and I got it. I got that was my taste of blood right there. And I was like, all right, every game I play, and I love RPG, so I was like, since I love RPG so much, I'm gonna try to platinum every RPG I come across. Um, but then, like I said, I know GT4 I wasn't gonna platinum because there's a lot of stupid shit that I wasn't gonna go for. But then, I platinum Deus Ex, and I was like, okay, I like action RPG as well, so I'm gonna go back up. So I went back and platinum a lot of the PS3 games like Digital Devil Saga, Xenosaga, stuff that came out during the PS3 that I kind of missed. Now, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't do games like Spider-Man or God of War until the PS4 came out. So Last of Us as well. I didn't do any games like that, like the real graphics type action games, until PS4 came out. Um, Now I'll give anything a shot, but I will admit I'm very quick to write a game off that I'm not used to playing. I can't help it. I'll start a game like for GTA 5. I know if I give it like 8, 10, 12 hours that I'll probably be sucked into it. But by like minute number 30, I'm like, nah, this ain't it. I'm done. and,
Yeah.
and that's just the bias in me. Um, as a matter of fact, when this is over, I'm gonna pull up Borderlands 3 and I'm gonna give it a fair shot. It's not gonna be a half an hour.
Hit me up. I can play with you.
Oh, cool. We'll see. I'll see how that goes. Like I said, I gotta actually get to the store and get. I'm gonna play it on the PS5 though. I'm not gonna get it on Game Pass if it's on Game Pass. Um, but I will tell you this: first person shooters, never liked them. Won't touch it. Tried COD and I said won't touch it, but I did try COD and Battlefield. Nope, I can't do it. I
Yeah, but
can
the
play.
thing is about different about games like a Borderlands. It got skills and it got
Right. No, no,
down
no,
numbered.
no, no. So when I say first person shooters, I'm talking about competitive first person shooters.
Oh
I,
yeah, no, I'm not touching that in my life. Like now, we're not
right.
doing that.
So co-op ones, like I said, I'll give it a fair shake. I played. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, uh, no, that was third person. It was a first person game that I tried that I liked. I can't remember the name of it. It was a shooter. Sniper. I think it was Sniper. Yeah, Sniper was cool. I love Sniper. That's not really competitive. And I went through the first person. I went through the campaign as co-op with social, and I thought it was fantastic. So, but yeah, and that's where I'm at right now. Just no first person shooter, no competitive first person shooters. I'll give anything a shot.
Cool. Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. Um, yeah. I guess I mean the biggest thing for me personally is obviously through lack of options. um, Lack of options during the Nintendo SNES Sega time frame. I played obviously a lot of side scrollers because well that's the majority of what there was. Um, so that's probably the biggest thing that I've really cut off. Like I don't really play those games anymore. Um, especially because most of them, the side scrollers, are platformers, which again, with very few exception, like Astrobot is another genre that I'm just not a fan of. That I was pretty heavy into back then. Like I said, just basically via lack of options. Um, and then of course discovering, like you mentioned, discovering my first JRPG during the PS1 era, and then that was all it took at that point. My playstyle itself hasn't never really changed. I've always been extremely thorough. I've always looked stuff up. I've always had a strategy guide. I've always done all this stuff. Like now, obviously, it's just more extensive because you have YouTube. You have a specific type of videos that get done for games. I tell people all the time. Like I watch people make all kinds of mistakes. That honestly, if people would just watch the things I wish I knew before I started this game videos, like could prevent so many people from making so many basic mistakes. So again, that's not new for me though. I've always been on Game Facts or stuff like that. Like I famously printed like the strategy guide in the computer lab for Pokemon, and it was long as hell. Uh, and it had like a ton of stuff and like printed a shit ton of paper while I was at school. So again, like that play style for me has never really changed. I always want to know all the ins, all the outs, everything that's ahead of me, in order to make the best plan. So I've always been a really strategic, very optimized, type of gamer, trying to make sure I'm not wasting my time even back then. Um, Fighting games is another thing I pretty much dropped entirely. Um, like you just don't have the same environment that you grew up with, living in the neighborhood, playing with a couple of the friends. I mean, that's where the fun really came from for me. uh, the single player, sometimes it gets a little more expansive in something um, like Soul Calibur, where they have the like RPG ish mode where you're like building a character and going through the ages and seeing the story. So stuff like that, I still like I don't dislike it. But like I don't want to spend hours, like people, like I said, hours in the lab and learning this skill. And oh man, it's great because it's tough for this to learn this and that. Like I never was really into that. Um, I did do competitive shooters, but very rarely. Was Call of Duty when it was actually good. Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 1, so on and so forth. And then I played Destiny 1 and 2, mainly for the PvE, but again, the competitive PvP, you're basically forced to play at some point in that game, especially if you want everything. So I was good. Uh, was very good at those and played those for a while. COD, the only capacity I really still play it in nowadays is really the campaign, which I still need to finish the campaign for the current one. Me and Morgan had actually started that, and I need to finish that. Um, but
I have evolved
yeah,
though, eh? When you look at God in the past versus now.
I don't know if I would use evolved as the word. COD has just
I mean,
COD has just
it
COD has
have
just
way more
added a bunch
skills
of
now.
shit. No, COD has just
Yeah, it have
added
way
a
more
bunch of shit.
skills and stuff versus now.
Yeah, but evolved is a different terminology,
Yeah,
so
I would
that's why.
not call COD evolved like at all.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
anything, it's a downgraded experience from what it used to be.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, they just added more stuff to it, like as an excuse to for the ADHD gamer of today, who was like can't pick. So zombies and all the other stuff, like they just incorporate as many different versions of things that they've ever had and just kind of put them all in one to try to entice people. But yeah, I would not, like Morgan said, I wouldn't describe evolution because the core parts of the game that needed to evolve, that should have gotten better over time, have actually gotten worse. Uh, like the servers have gotten worse. They have the worst servers, like in pretty much all of major AAA gaming as far as competitive gaming. Their servers are just terrible, despite being pretty much one of the most popular games on the planet. Um, so yeah, they definitely haven't come up that way. Um, the only thing that they've realized, I will say, is that the importance of having a campaign, because they did try the one without one, and it did just ridiculously bad. Because they claim people don't really play it, but as you know, when you remove options for people, people don't like that, and a lot of devs fail to realize that until they make that mistake. Um, but yeah, like I said, for the most part, like I said, I haven't really changed as a gamer. My playstyle has always been very methodical, very thorough that way, and very strategizing. Like I said, I don't like to be in the dark when I'm playing the game. I like to know what I'm doing, plan accordingly, have all the best options, and I've always taken advantage of everything. Uh, In-game
Were
cheats,
you always a
whatever. I don't
whale?
care. Yes, I mean, I always over leveled. I always thought it was I thought it was incredibly stupid to be under leveled and doing something. But the way that you play, I just can't. I hate it. I absolutely
Is
hate
it
it.
because you ran through a boss and he fucked you up so bad that you're like, fuck it? Or what?
But I consider that a waste of time though. Like
Ah,
when I
okay.
can kill him and get through the game. The point of a game is to get through it,
But
not waste my time. When anything wastes my time,
so
that is the problem.
a boss fight is not an experience for you. It's just
It's not
a
about it not
way.
being an experience. It's an experience when I beat his ass and I get past him.
I'm sorry.
But you're
No,
stopping
you're.
him.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how I got through it. Like you're focusing on the difficulty. This is something I had to explain to Kay the other day because she was asking me about why I don't like Souls games and stuff, and I had to explain to her I do not care about the difficulty of a thing. Like I don't. The difficulty doesn't do anything for me. There's no quote unquote sense of accomplishment. Like what
Mm.
that comes from whether or not just the game is good and I'm enjoying myself. Like yeah, I've completed Dead Space 1 on the hardest difficulty. That the excitement for that came from my own precision and my memory with the game and my ability to get through it, but not about it wasn't about it being hard is what made it fun. The game itself was fun in the first place, and I happened to play on the hardest difficulty. The difficulty
Mm.
itself doesn't make it fun. It never has. I'm not a difficulty person.
Mm.
So, yeah, it
Yeah,
does.
and difficulty
Yeah.
doesn't have to be OP. Like I swear you think it's not difficult unless you spend like an hour on something. Like you can a boss can be difficult and you can still get through it at a decent pace. Like it doesn't have to take an hour to beat a boss for a boss to be difficult.
Nah,
Yeah.
knowing him, he is always over leveling.
Yeah,
You said
well,
what?
Yeah.
here's an example for me. Let's say Trails from Zero. I can't remember the whole title, but I was playing one way throughout the whole game, which is what they call the evasion build, where you get your characters to 100% evasion and make their counterattack double. What they have a something you can put on to make the counterattack cost double. I mean, do double damage. And what wound up happening was I fought that way throughout the whole game. So I would just go into a battle and just just sit there, and the bosses would attack and die. I got to the very end, and that boss is like, "Oh no, this does not work here. We will fight. We will hit you through your 120% evasion rate." All it took was for me to die 3 times. I was like, "All right, research.
Yep.
Let me
Exactly.
find out what's going on here. Research." And what sucks about that though is I built my characters in such a way that I would have to go back like 4 hours into the game to make something else high, so that the boss, which was defense, would so to make that boss battle not as difficult. But lucky for me, I saved like 30, 40 slots, so it was easy to go back 2, 3 hours to change some the like I don't do any of the stat boosting stuff until the very end of the game.
Yeah.
And let's say I did it for the evasion for this boss, I would just go back to 2 hours, 30 hours, or whatever, and then put all of that on the defense so I could change up my strategy. But I agree. 2 or 3 losses, and I'm doing some research because I ain't got the time.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's the thing about research. I do like, despite the fact that I love going in blind, um, game breaking bugs, glitches, missable items is such a pain in the ass to get all of these. And that's the same with going blind. Like I went blind with 33 up until I literally didn't use my attribute because I didn't want to lock myself into a situation where I couldn't get away from it. And I'm thankful I didn't because I would have never guessed luck is so important, dude.
Yeah, but
So
see,
what
but that's
about
what I'm saying.
what about at the beginning of 33? Because I haven't played it. I played it a little
Yeah,
bit,
no, I
and I
got
heard. Hold on, I heard there's something in the beginning you need to get for
There's
a
the key.
journal entry later,
Yeah,
and
yeah, I
I'm
got
not
it.
about to play the whole game over for that.
I actually might. So
exactly.
basically, I fucked myself with the first mime. Apparently, he is in the beginning area, and I didn't know that.
Nice.
So yeah,
I mean,
but luck,
it's not
Yeah,
really a, I
that's
mean,
not
because that
really
was
an
the last
issue.
trophy that
but
I got. It's not really a
luck.
fuck yourself because you can get it in like the first 8 minutes of the game.
Well,
So
I'm lucky. I'm lucky enough that there is no trophy for killing all for beating all the mime. It's just a very fast one. So
Right.
I'm super happy about that. And another one, it's a hidden item that you can buy, but you need to have money for it. And I had to research on Google just to make sure that this is just the amount of money that you can get at the beginning of the game. And I was right. This is to me, it's like all about spoilers. I don't
Yep.
want to get being spoiled. I love the experience. Like I love how Act One started. I know Act Two is gonna start beast mode. I'm I'm all for the experience. I don't wanna read. Don't do this before Act Two because Act Two gonna be blah 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 something like that.
Mm.
So it's difficult to
See, so
find
you
the
have
best.
a crippling fear of that. I don't have that. Like
Yeah, this
that's
is
the
the difference
difference.
between you and me.
Because
You're
I
okay with
looked up.
spoilers.
No, I'm not. I didn't. I looked up a shit ton of stuff and I wasn't spoiled at all. I'm saying your fear of a spoiler is going to do that. I do enough research and know who to look at for what guides I need that are going to tell me things I need to make sure I don't do so that I don't make those mistakes. Like
Hmm.
the killing the Nevron thing. Like again, that's something people wouldn't know unless you look that up. Someone has to do
I
it
swear
first and
that
realize that.
never shouldn't die. They came over harmless. I'm like, you're not done. I'm not gonna kill you.
Yeah, but
Well,
like it was an accident though.
a good place to start is the trophy list. Trophy lists don't usually spoil much. You can get a couple of spoilers, but it don't spoil much. Once I look at the trophy list, I'm like, all right, I know what I'm looking for now, and I'm only looking for collectible shit. I don't really look up, boss battles and shit, just the
Yeah, this is
collectibles
the
because I don't want to miss them.
collectible. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean that's something you got to deal with, hero. So I mean you got to make your choice about what do you want more as a gamer, right? Like if you're so because that is a difference with me. Some people consider like the most basic of things a spoiler. I don't like if it's a story beat or something, obviously, but none of these things did story, so I don't really care. Like that doesn't bother me. But like you mentioned something about environmental stuff for certain things for God of War. Like again, none of that stuff, really bothered me because like I don't know.
or gameplay mechanic. You don't care, right?
I don't care about that. I want the
Yeah,
information to know that I am not going to mess up or waste my time. Like I've done it several times in chat where we are all playing a game, and I've luckily been ahead or just ahead of where you are or maybe Morgan or somebody, and I always say something in chat or whatever, so just so you guys see it, so that you guys don't make the mistake because I know
and
like
it
you
is
might not have
helpful.
seen it.
Like you have helped us a lot. I truly believe that.
Yeah,
Like
I
if
just a lot of
especially
it's a more of a design philosophy of games today. Like like it's almost like a thing to get over on gamers or things to design things that are missable or, can screw up your playthrough. There's always one or two things. It's not a lot, one or two things, but again, that stuff bothers me like profusely. Like in the beginning, I didn't know you could get all three of the keys at first, all three of the things to get the key. So I went back and I played again because at first Morgan was like, "Why'd you go back?" and I was like, oh, because this, and this. So I went back.
Wait, you went back? So you
Yes.
didn't do your research at first? Okay, interesting.
No, that wasn't out yet. It's not about not doing your research. It
Oh,
wasn't in the video.
okay,
It wasn't out. Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, you got
gotcha.
to remember, I played day one, so I mean, there's only so much information they're gonna have.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why there's so many videos of Expedition within this last week or two because people are still discovering things. But
And now
yeah,
you guys understand why I'm
you like
usually
to play
not day
later.
one. That right
Well,
there.
you're gonna play the Nerf version of Mael, so enjoy.
Yeah,
Shut
yeah.
up.
There is that. There is
Yeah,
that.
I heard Mael was nerfed. That's okay.
It's all right.
Yeah.
So is Omar. Don't listen to Omar. He's not gonna
No,
nerf it.
no.
That's how he wants to
Um,
play. He wants to play the hardest possible game. So that's how he's gonna play. He's gonna play a Nerf Mael. He's gonna take 5 hours to beat the boss. That's the way Omar wants to play.
I'm literally doing 19. I'm break. When can I break level
Honestly,
99
I mean, by
now?
the time you start,
Damage wise?
Viper, you might beat the game before Omar. To be honest.
you can't
What?
you can't break 99 until you beat Act 2.
Oh god.
So
I'm
yeah,
stuck
have
with
fun with that.
99 then?
Yep.
I'm already doing 99 just from pure, what you call it,
I
counter.
mean, 9,999.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, and if y'all don't know, Borderlands 3 is 90% off. It's only $6.
Oh, I already have it, so yeah.
So I'm about to snatch this up right now.
Nice. If
Yeah.
you wanna hit me up, if you wanna play, let me know, but I do need to eat first, so.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, Hero, and I mean, I am too, right? Like story stuff. That's why, like, I commented like some people who like share certain things on social media, I have to mute them. We talked about that before the show even started, but like certain things I just don't consider like a spoiler, right? Like, um, like somebody was saying like the running joke is like Star Wars fans are always super like hyper sensitive to spoilers, right? But so somebody was like number one, anybody who followed Star Wars knew this was going to happen anyway, so it wasn't even really a spoiler. But like when the Luke Skywalker movie came out or whatever, not Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and they were like, "Oh man, he dies" or whatever in the movie in like somebody's Twitch chat, and I was like, "Okay, I don't know how he dies. I haven't seen it. I don't know the lead up. I don't know the journey. I don't know the like. You
The
can't.
spoiler is not impactful for you?
He does not die in the solo movie because that's a prequel.
No. But my point was, even if he did, though, I don't know anything about the lead up to it. So I was like, I'm really not spoiled. Like, I don't even care. Like, you told me the like a potential result, and then like you said, on top of that, it turned out not to even be the thing, right? But like the person was just lying just to like for shock value. So it's like, but I don't know anything around it. There's context. It's why someone like knowing one thing from like a like Expedition 33, knowing one thing like yeah, like you'll be like, "Oh, that's when that happens when you finally get to it." But the person has no context for all the other things you did to get to that, right? Like the name of something in the game. Like they're like, "Oh, you spoiled it for me." Spoiled what? You don't know what it is. You it's a name of a place or a
Interesting.
person.
I
It's
see.
irrelevant.
I see it differently. Like, for example, talking about Activision 33, I don't even mention the third way you can avoid taking damage because I think that as a spoiler. I don't want to rob the person emotion when he or she first experienced that. Because to me, that is a legendary moment when I saw what you
Yeah,
could do.
but why would you really tell somebody that though in the first place?
Um,
That's what I'm saying.
just talking about the
That's not
game,
something you
how
would
what it
need to
does.
tell them. Yeah, but
Yeah,
we've
no,
never
that's why
even
I
mentioned
don't.
it. That's what I'm saying. Like, but what I'm talking about is the name. If I told you, if I randomly said the name of like a boss or something, it can
Yeah,
completely out of context. You wouldn't even know what I'm talking about until you got to
no, I
that boss.
wouldn't.
Like
Yeah,
saying somebody there's a boss later in the game called Timmy. Like, okay, you don't know who Timmy is. You don't know
yeah,
anything about him. You don't know when you
Oh
will
no, not
encounter him.
Timmy.
Yeah, exactly,
Damn it,
right?
Greg.
So,
The
and
only
then
way,
here we go.
unless Timmy is such a plays such a big role that the second you see him, you read his name, you're like, okay, this Timmy is gonna be your boss or final boss. I get that.
Here's here's a prime example. There's and I think this is funny. There's a movie called Hot Tub Time Machine, right?
Yeah.
And if y'all seen it, y'all probably know where I'm going with this. There, I think the it's where three guys go, but they accidentally go back in time to their younger selves. But the current hotel that they live in, or that they where they, has a guy that works there that's missing a left arm. So when they go back, and that's the same guy that was in school with back, back in their old days when they was in high school. And there was so many times where they thought, oh, this is the moment where he's going to lose his left arm, because he was playing with a chainsaw at one point. One time he was playing with a knife, or at one time his arm was hanging out of a car while he was going high speed down the street, and they were just waiting for that arm to come off, and it never did until they least expected. Have any of y'all seen that movie?
Yeah, I've seen it. But yeah,
Oh,
that's what I mean. Like that's the primary thing. Like they already knew something, but they had no idea when or how it was gonna
yes.
happen. And they couldn't like force it because again, you would mess something up. You gotta just let it happen. So yeah, that's a really good example. But yeah, I definitely get the sensitivity to like spoilers and stuff, um, Hero. But I'm to the point where, like I said, I can't afford to make a mistake in a game that costs me so much time. So I gotta decide how informed I want to be before I play something. And like I said, a lot of the people that are pro level on YouTube that get these games ahead of time, they're very very careful about explaining stuff like this. This is how I avoid so many things that happen to people that I see on Twitter all the time, where people lock themselves out of things or they run into a really famous bug because again they never looked it up, so like now they're stuck. Like I know somebody they fixed several soft locks on on the game, and there were places you could get stuck in the game. Again, stuff like that typically doesn't happen to me because I'm typically not doing things in a game that you're not supposed to be doing as well. Like people are like, "Oh, did you know that if you ran into that wall at 200 miles an hour, you'd get stuck inside of it?" Well, that's not going to happen for me because I don't drive that way. Like, so I'm never going to get stuck in that wall. Like stuff like that. So I'm just like I'm just not the I guess the fuck around and find out type of person. When
Exactly.
yeah, when
And
it comes to
talking
that.
about that, I gotta give
Personally,
that out. Yeah, go ahead, Morgan.
personally for me, it's like if I'm going for a plat, I'm just gonna have to like if I decide that I want platinum for a game, I just I just basically chalk it up to the game. Like it is what it is if I get spoiled because I'm choosing to go for the platinum, and in order to do that for most games, I need to look at a strategy guide and I need to look up or a
Hmm.
trophy guide. So if I get spoiled, it is what it is. Like I can't have it both ways. I can't want a plat, and then when somebody tries to explain to me how to get it, I get mad because they spoiled something for me.
Yeah,
It,
I do
like
think with Google and YouTube now, it's easier to not be spoiled when it comes
yeah,
to.
but my thing is, I'm not gonna get upset if I do. Like, if I'm
Mm,
googling how to beat this game and how to get these trophies, I have to accept the fact that I may be spoiled with something because that's the risk I'm taking by researching this game. If I'm not getting a plat, then yeah, I'm gonna try to avoid spoilers the best I can. But if I'm going for a plat, I just have to accept that fate. Like I may get spoiled trying to get this trophy because there's gonna be certain things that they have to tell me in order to get a certain trophy. Like, you
mm,
gotta do this or this or this, or you have to make sure you don't do this, or make sure you don't do something before a certain event happens in the game. I just have to
Exactly.
accept that they're
and
going to have to
when you
spoil
read
me, and it is what it
something
is. I
like
don't
that,
care.
does it hurt you that you
No, I
got
don't
that?
care. No,
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Okay.
like
I don't
I
care.
don't care. I
Cause
really don't
I mean
because
I know they're going to do the best they can to not spoil you, but like I said, sometimes they have to warn you about
Yeah,
that
like
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Like,
like
look,
it is
when
what
you
it
get
is.
here,
Before a
the
certain
giant's
person
gonna
death.
cross your
Yeah.
path. Once you cross the line that the giant walked past, so they gotta tell you what it is, so you recognize what it is
Yeah.
Maybe the point of no return is hidden, like because all games don't have the big flashy point of no return, right?
Yeah,
Like so, this game doesn't have a point of no return for that record. So you wouldn't know.
33.
Yeah, 33 doesn't have one.
It
It
it semi does. It's just the
Now you
load
gonna say
save
it like he beat
file.
it.
It's a load save file. You can load 10 previously saved files,
Yeah, but no,
which
It's
is
auto saves though. They're not manual saves.
yeah.
So
Oh,
it's up
by
to
the
no,
what
they're
way,
the
auto
game is
save.
doing.
quick question about Expedition 33 because I read this somewhere.
Yeah.
Did they get rid of the menu weapon swap autosave,
You said the
No,
or did y'all not know about that?
where it saves after
What?
you swap a weapon.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it still does that.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
That's why I keep trying to tell little autosave shit don't matter because if you weapon swapped or walked a certain way, it will have saved pointless save files. So don't rely on that as a point of no return.
yeah.
Like those low files are all but useless, to be honest. So yeah, don't rely on that. Don't listen no more.
Yeah,
You don't need
what
to.
I meant ultimately though is that like in when you get to the point of no return in Cyberpunk, it literally tells you like there is a
Yeah.
pop up in a big ass window that tells you, hey,
Wait,
once you
they
proceed,
did that with 33 though at the beginning.
no,
They literally warned you.
bro,
You want to
wait a
start
minute,
the
wait a
command.
minute, wait a
Omar,
minute, wait a
that's
minute.
not a point of no
That's not a
return because
point of no
that's
return.
just the beginning of the damn game.
Oh, the end of the game. So
The
they
point
don't
of no
want.
return
That's
is
the
the end of the
beginning
game.
of the game.
Yeah.
You talking about the thing where it says right before you go out to the continent? That's not a fucking point of no return, Omar.
Yeah, we're
So
talking.
that only
That's just
counts for
telling
I
the.
you
see what
you're
it
about
means
to
though.
leave this
So
area
that
and
only
go
counts for the end of the game. Okay, but that's weird that
The
they don't
point, the
have that.
reference, the point of no return means the end of
means
the
the end
game.
of the game. That's what we're
Oh,
talking about.
Yeah.
that's so weird that it doesn't have that. Especially with how they started the
I mean,
opening.
essentially, you can. It doesn't need it because you
It
can
doesn't
just
need it,
start.
yeah.
You don't need a point of there because there is no point of no return. It's you can just play the game whenever. You can continue and
You can
play it when you're
continue
done with
after
the
you
main
beat
game.
it. Yeah.
There's no need because there is no point of no return.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, see, Hero accepts the way he does it. So he said he ran into a really annoying bug in Mafia 2, and he says he runs into bugs all the time because he wants to go in blind on stuff. So see,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you have to accept, and that's what annoys me about some people. It's like they don't like if you go in blind, you have to accept that you are taking all the consequences of going in blind. So you can't be mad when oh man, I missed something for the trophy. It was a missable trophy, or I missed this and that. Well, you decided to go in blind, my guy. You
Or
decided to
my
not research.
favorite
What?
one, my profile save corrupted. That's the one that gets me.
Yeah, it's just like you got to accept what happens. If you want to go in blind, cool, but you don't complain when you miss shit. Don't complain when you've passed the point and you can't go back. Like, oh, the trophy was back in that other area and I can't go back over there. And it's just like, well, why'd you go in blind? Because I didn't want to be spoiled. Okay, well, you weren't spoiled. Now you missed the trophy. So, congrats.
Morgan, you can already say my name. I know it's me.
Oh
I
yeah, I
mean,
know. Yeah,
I mean you,
Mhm.
but it's not just you though. Like we see it on Twitter all the time. Oh, that's not fair. I didn't know. I didn't know that
See,
that was
yeah, because
there.
Omar will come in the chat and start complaining too, be like, "Oh, I missed something." I'm like, Omar, but you went in blind though. But I didn't want to be spoiled. But I'm like, but that's what happens. You taking that risk by not looking it up first. Like that's what happens.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, game designers could definitely stop doing things that
Absolutely.
screw you over that way, but they're not. So you got to make your choice. So yeah, like I mean, Hero said he accepts it.
Like
Like
it's
that's all you got
almost
to do.
like
Just accept how you want to play.
it. It's almost like developers want you to look it up on YouTube or Google.
I mean,
I know one thing. I would not have known where fucking Knights of the Round Summon was in Final Fantasy VII with because I did play Final Fantasy VII on my first playthrough blind, and there was a whole lot of materia that I
I
missed.
had no
I
idea
was
that it
pissed.
existed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was pissed that I had to go back and find. I didn't even know master material. None of that. None of that. I didn't know none of that. I was wondering what those fucking things were in Red 13's his pop's house. But you know, like you said, that's the risk you run. That's up to the player.
Absolutely.
I had no idea you could have anime as your summon in Final Fantasy X until I saw that he is also as a Dark Ion. I'm like, okay, so if you're a Dark Ion, I should be able to get you. I do think the strategy guide are. I do think they are thing of the past. Now Google and YouTube exist,
Well, yeah,
and
that's why
as
Back,
they
for
that's why they can
spoilers,
only make them.
back in the day, back in my day when I was young, so they had the Nintendo hotline you
you
could call.
The
young,
Nintendo hotline. Oh my god.
Oh, yo, I
Yeah,
remember that. Oh shit.
How do I do this? Nah,
Yeah.
that's
am I
wild.
the only one that never called the Nintendo hotline?
I mean, I've never
I mean,
called
I
it.
didn't
apparently.
call
I
it.
didn't call it. I
I
just
just
knew what it
remember
was.
it.
Yeah.
I once call it.
Yo,
But yeah, no. I mean, I was always the person with the strat. I had a strategy guide for Gran Turismo, like Gran Turismo One. Like, like
I
I don't play
one.
around.
I call him for beating the final boss of Mega Man 2 because it was vulnerable for only one weapon and there was no way to knowing that. It was like the most useless weapon of them all.
Of course it was.
Yeah.
But see, that's the things they do, and game designers still do that kind of
Or
crazy stuff.
in Metal Gear Solid, making Metal Gear
Yes,
making
swapping the controller.
something. Yeah, like that one. Without me knowing it, I would have never got through past him because
Yeah,
he's borderline a block.
yeah. I mean, my friends told me, so I mean, that's how I knew. My
Wait,
friend.
how did they do that in the remaster?
Basically, it doesn't work as good. It just allow you to deal damage to him, but it's not an auto win. You could still get fucked up.
That doesn't answer my question.
She said, "How did
I'm
they
saying
do it?
He
like,
can
Because you
explain.
can't swap the controller to
You
another slot."
you you can. You absolutely can. But it's
okay,
just
that
not.
doesn't explain anything. But can you explain how you can, or you just gonna say you can?
Basically, there is a hidden button that you press. I think it's the either the touchpad or the right button. Um, it bring up a menu where you go to option and then you switch your controllers. They literally let you
Okay.
know
So they
you
invented
switch
one
your
in game.
sorry.
They invented a solution in the game to indicate that
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
switching
yeah.
the
They
controller.
created the way
That's what she was
there's
asking.
literally an
Yeah,
option menu.
that's all I want to know. Yeah.
Gotcha. But it's not an auto win.
Well, yeah, and nothing's an auto win.
Yeah, I was like,
I don't know about the
you don't auto win even on the old one. I mean,
Yeah, I
you
was gonna
still got to
say
fight.
you still gotta fight them.
hmm
But yeah, we're gonna get up out of here. Get ready to end this podcast.
Yeah, no, we had a blast.
Yep. So Viper, as the guest man, if you want to be found, let people know where they can find you. But go ahead and hit that outro.
Uh, Viper Reap PS5 at Reap Viper on Twitter and at Viper Reap on Blue Sky. I think it's called. Yeah.
That shit still exists.
Yep.
Yeah, it does. And that's the only, I don't have Twitter, TikTok. I had a YouTube channel, Viper Reef's Corner, but I got some playthroughs on there from games between 2020 and 2023. Um, uh, Strategy guides are kind of time consuming, and I like gaming, so I didn't quit, but the channel's still open.
Absolutely. Weeb, let the people know where they can find you, sir.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter as the Weep Sheriff at Infinite Rhizome and also on Blue Sky, which will probably survive Twitter, Omar. And yeah, Auto Nation.
Otter Nation.
Our nation.
Morgan, where can the people find you, ma'am?
Oh yeah, you can also find me on Twitter at Chill Bandit. Tweeting about some games, talking about some games. playing some games. Uh, on to the next thing now. It's a bittersweet moment to be done with Expedition 33, but glad I got to experience it. Hoping you guys get to experience it, enjoy it too. But yeah, hopefully there'll be some other great news as we're gearing up for the summer showcases for games. So
Oh yeah,
hopefully next week there'll be some fun things to talk about. But yeah, see you next week and Otter Nation.
Otter Nation.
Automation.
And Omar, where can the people find you, sir?
So first of all, shout out to you for hosting. Second of all, shout out to Viper for coming through. Also, he's not a guest. He is one of the OG. Well, semi OG.
I mean, he's a
As for
guest
me, you can find
today,
me
sir.
at uh, Caravan_shop on Twitter and Vitamin G Podcast every Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Hit that like button, share the stream out, and most importantly, buy and play Expedition 33.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I am your host, Innate, or known as the Real Innate on Twitter and Blue Sky. Um, yeah, like I said, give Expedition 33 a shot. However, you can play it or obtain it, and yeah, to Warawana, he said, I know he said he was playing on his PC version. It updated, um, so he is now playing with nerfed
Oh, he's
Oh
Mael.
fucked.
damn. Oh.
He
Yeah,
is fucked, yeah.
but you know, in classic fashion, playing on PC is a W because in reality, if he wants
Hey,
to,
he'll have a mod.
yeah, I was gonna say he can change that by looking up Wiimod, and that'll take care of that problem. Trust me.
Mm.
So have a ball with that. But yeah, like you said, most importantly, play your games. Thanks to everybody who came through. We had a ton of people come through in the chat, say what's up, participate. We had quite a few people talking about their experiences playing Expedition. I know Hero and Salazar were both playing it um, as well as Warwana. So shout out to everybody again. And we're about to get up out of here. Otter Nation.
Otter
Automation.
Nation.
But, but the donation